Coyotes copied GTR, but that's okay.
So what's the difference here?
It's got 2 extra cylinders. That's it.
Yeah.
They copied it to a T.
How do you get a good race with a GTR?
We have a stable car. We can bring slower shit out.
On the street, I mean.
They play games like Kaiju will lock in with this car. Well, he goes and calls a GTR that he knows is faster. Don't call a friend, like he's trying to lock in with you. It's a street race. Like I've lost on the street.
Yeah, you lost to a Mustang. One stock, that BMW can get drugged. That TTRS can get drugged. Any RS3 TTRS that's feeling froggy, every single one of them in the country can get fucking stepped on.
Any B58 on the street.
I don't care if it's
in what car though?
They got the maroon car to pick from, and they got the King of New York here. By the way, Kaiju Turbo Mike, King of New York's over here. You remember that?
Did you cross?
No. My tire never went over that line. He pulls up next to me as we're still driving. He was like, I wasn't ready. My lights weren't on. I'm like, okay, here we go. One stock never got jumped. He not even got
out of the car.
slapped.
I will step on any all-wheel drive Honda on the street.
That's right.
To the quarter. Anyone.
Welcome back to another episode of the Street Alpha Podcast. I am your host, Tukes, and we have another episode out here in Maryland. Today we have Workhorse Performance. We have Tony, Brad, and John. Let's clap it up for Tony, Brad, and John. You guys are known for building a lot of fast GTRs, correct?
Yeah,
I'm sitting in one.
Yeah, some of the fastest on the East Coast, I would say.
On the East Coast.
Or the fastest, yeah.
The fastest in the world, or
East Coast.
East Coast. Well,
why are we keeping it to the East Coast?
there's some shops on the.
We got a couple friends that build some fucking hot rods too. Mac, my boy Mac, he's a fucking killer in the game. Yep. Brad Jepson builds some monsters up in high density where it's hard to breathe.
Yeah,
land.
PPC. He builds some killers. Obviously you got the name brand shops like T1. Tony's builds killers too. You know what I mean? But I would say on the East, like really our only competition over here shop wise would be like Sissio for GTRs. And we go back and forth.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's not like a hate thing. We just it's
friendly competition to push the platform.
Yeah, it's just we go back and forth. I know the owner. We text whatever. But I would say for like street car GTR, probably fastest in the world. Yeah,
street car, so fast.
And we stand on it.
Yeah, like the car weighs 3850 with me in it. It's been 727, 199 on a drag radial. We're gonna try to go 6s in Texas. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but still, it's a street car. I drive it. There's events here in Maryland, Ocean City, Hot Rod. We've been going for like years, like 12, 14 years. I drive the car there. It's 2.5 hours one way.
Do they have like a bar there where it's like in the water?
Yes.
Okay.
Secrets.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Everyone knows Secrets.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They have the bar and they have tables and waitresses come out in the water and you can. I drive that car just how it goes down the track. No different. We don't remove anything. How I drive it to Ocean City. Velocity stacks. I don't change anything. How it is how it goes down the track. So, 727, 199. I feel like
we even do it on pump ethanol.
Yeah. Well, pump ethanol, I'll drive around on, but when we go to the track, it's on ethanol. It's on 1R, but it's still ethanol. No methanol, no crazy race gas stuff. I mean, it's 1R out of a can just to make sure that it's perfect ethanol. Pure, I don't want to do anything like that, but
you don't want to risk.
No, but like on the dyno, when it made 2200, it was on Rofo ethanol.
So this makes 22. What's the max horsepower this peaked out at?
This made 2190.
90,
yeah.
On 60 pounds.
On E.
And it's not billet.
No billet block.
It's
cast
block car. Yep.
Yeah, cast block. That's
crazy.
It's obviously it has mods done to it to keep it together, but it's a cast block. The silver cars.
No sleeves.
No sleeves. No.
No
sleeves.
Factory
it's a plasma
line block.
You know anything about
Plasma? Is that the same thing that they use in a Supra? the coating?
It's kind of, but the Nissan stuff is like very high end.
You
like,
only get to clean up a plasma block so many times, like refresh a motor before you have to have a new block or put sleeves in it. We don't do sleeves because
they drop.
Okay.
They used to sleeve, and the only reason why they know this because they used to sleeve them. You know, I've been doing this since 2012, so they used to sleeve them back in the day to try to save the block, and they would almost always drop. Always.
What? Why? Why is that? Because of
I'm guessing just the design and the way that they install the sleeve.
Yeah.
The way they install sleeves now is I think they have like a kind of a mushroom top to it to where they machine into the block and it sits on top so it can't drop. But I don't know if there's enough material to do that on a GTR motor, like because you have to like machine an edge.
It's kind of unheard of now.
Yeah, like nobody
really does sleeve
it's very
motors anymore.
Very frowned upon. Like
the billet blocks, because obviously you got to put a sleeve in it.
Right.
But
the billet block is sleeved, but
this is billet block.
This is a billet block.
Okay.
It makes 2100.
King in New York.
This guy's from New York.
Yeah. He's from New York.
Yeah, Mikey. Yep. He's from New.
Does he street race at all?
He wants to, but some people don't want to. He calls people out, and they try to go to their heavy hitters, and then I get involved, and then it gets quiet. So like he tried to race, I think Kaiju. Kaiju, of course, it's a workhorse car. So like he's like, no, you can race Mikey.
You can throw Turbo Mike at us. And I'm like, okay, well, run us with Turbo Mike. You run in the shop car.
Yeah. So, and then it kind of goes quiet.
On the street?
On the street.
Oh, yeah.
So I will race anyone in this car to the quarter on the street.
Okay.
Anyone.
I never really asked this question, but like with these cars, right? They're all-wheel drive, right?
They're rear-wheel drive with front-wheel drive assist.
Okay. So on the street, what's the most power you can race with? Like realistically, with these?
It depends. Like the new tuner is that's his thing. Like trying to get a car to leave on
nothing,
like unprepped surface. Like he's very good at what he does.
Okay.
We haven't really, when we raced 1Stock with the red GTR, that was the old tuner. So we really haven't done anything in the street with the new tuner. We just know what he's capable of just by like Tom's
There's
car.
a lot to go in. I mean,
There's like Tom's car, the 60 to 130 stuff. That thing's dialed in from the new tuner to be able to put the power down. Mm-hmm. It's not that car makes 2,200 horsepower, but 2,300 horsepower, but it's not putting that down on the street, obviously.
That's what I'm saying. So
I would say 1,800 max, like
on the street.
And that's pouring it on. You know what I mean? Like not starting from the 60.
Right.
It's probably not seeing that until top of fourth.
The 100 to 150.
Yeah, the 100 to 150 area going from a dig. From a roll, that car was probably all in the top of third. Tom's car.
Yeah.
But he's in, that bridge in the Florida area is all concrete. It's a little bit warmer. You know what I mean? Like the surface is a lot better to put the power down.
It's a big difference in tuners. Not to knock anybody, but like, before with the car that I raced in, it had 25-pound wastegate springs in it. So the lowest we could turn that car down was 1,100 horsepower. Because on the launch, it was a spicy boy.
Yeah.
Like he even texted me that I didn't read the text and I fucked up because he was like, I turned traction control off in second. Should be fine. Well, I didn't read that till after I did the race.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the one of the. So I think it was the first pass or the second.
That car left on 30 pounds, and in second gear, it was.
He was like pointed. He was like pointed at the crowd.
58 pounds of boost.
This is when we raced 1Stock the second time.
Okay.
Yeah, like we can get into that, but
so
it's
the management now is far better. Like for instance, with his car, I was going to talk about this earlier, but we had a problem with this car. Wouldn't go over 56 pounds of boost. Yeah. No matter what we did. We had a 3-port on it with 25-pound wastegate springs. Nothing. Put 4-port on it. Nothing. Even though I was very adamant and still am, John, that a 4-port will make a lot more power, especially with 25-pound wastegate springs.
Oh yeah.
That didn't work. Put 2 3-ports on it. Still not going over 56 pounds.
We had 2 3-ports. One was with the Motech. it has other channels. We literally
So
had
one was pinned directly to the Motech to turn it on when the first 3-port maxed
one
out.
3-port was controlling the top of the gate. The other 3 ports controlling the bottom of the gate separately. And like you turn the second one on after 55 pounds, and it's supposed to give you an extra like 10 pounds on top. You know what I mean? So you would get like 65 pounds. Well, this car, the fastest it ever went with John is 757. You know, at 190.
180.
John who?
Visconti.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I don't. You know,
So
I don't like saying his name, but
the big change was, and this is going to blow your mind with our new tuner. He let me put it back on a 4-port pulse width modulation, and I took wastegate springs out of the car.
Yeah.
I went down to a bar of wastegate springs,
14
which is
pounds.
14 pounds.
that's it.
Okay.
Which allows us to launch the car considerably more controllably.
So Corbin can literally make the car. We've tested it on the dyno. He can make the car whatever torque you want. 900 foot-pounds. He'll set it. I'll do a pull.
Still
and no
make
matter
14, 15, 1600 horsepower.
And it'll make 900 foot-pounds, and it will hold it to red line. Like literally, it'll be flat across 1,000 foot-pounds, no problem. 700 foot-pounds, like, and that's how you're dialing it in from a dig,
Right.
You know, and getting the car
It
to
changed
leave.
the way these cars 60 foot
Oh yeah,
unbelievably.
'Cause you
you don't need 1,500 horsepower to go a low 1.260 foot or a high 1.1.
No.
You only need 800 foot-pounds of torque or so.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
kind of like what
Correct.
These cars
Yes.
leave like butter now, thanks to Corbin.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've seen like other GTR high horsepower GTRs where they like are
Yeah.
just. I mean,
Yes.
they're just going crazy. I don't know if you watched the video of the 727 pass. This car just squats. It looks like it's going slow. Like
That's-
it just
yeah,
It literally squats and just goes. Like it literally looks like it's slow,
So
but
right.
it's not.
We're creeping on the 1.160 foot
Yeah,
on a drag radial.
Yeah, I mean,
275.
It went a 120, you know, 60 foot, 275 radial. I mean,
Not no Jason Miller prep.
No.
The best in the business. This is Cecil
Cecil.
County Dragway on my birthday because I made him go to the track with me.
Yeah, like I was the last pass. The track was cold. Corbin actually was like, we turned it down a little bit. He was going to turn it up more in second, and I was like, I don't think it's going to hold it. So he kind of left it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it went 727 at 199, and just it held it. But the car leaves so smooth that if you're watching it from a camera,
It looks slow.
it looks like it's slow. Just I watch it and I'm like, well, when John was tuning it, it looked cool
yeah,
because the car just was so violent.
Yeah.
You know, it looks cool. You know, it's banging. It's got side exits, so it's banging flames out the side, like leaving. But that's not fast. You know what I
Right.
mean? We're trying to go fast.
Right.
A to B.
Making it functional.
Yeah. And Corbin makes it work. Like,
A lot of these cars have to abort their runs because of that.
yeah, because it's
They're
just so violent.
and they're bunny hopping so bad, and all these guys are on 4 slicks all the way around. By the 8th, they're facing the wall. They got to let out.
They're touching every part of the track, and I mean they're going sevens, going like this, touching every part of the track, going 1,500 feet instead of 1,320.
We're very adamant people on radios. We don't have a single car that goes to the track that's on slicks.
No,
So you guys are racing from dig.
Yes.
yeah.
So can you talk about that a little bit more? Because apparently there's people who don't like to race from a dig, which is pretty controversial now.
They,
you guys know
they
what
like
I'm
to do
talking
the
about.
draggy racing.
They
No,
also
the
like
roll-
to
there's
sit
roll
when
racing.
they pee.
Yeah,
What was that?
They also like to sit when they pee.
Well, I'm not like throwing any shots at anybody, but like a big thing has been lately that GTRs are expensive or transmissions are expensive to
So-
launch with.
they're expensive when you don't have a proper tuner that gets the car to leave. When the car leaves as violent as it does, like with a lot of these tuners, we use Shep only for our transmissions, and I'm sure you know Shep Trans or
Do
heard of them.
Evos too, right?
Yeah, they're in
Yeah.
Ohio. He's in Ohio, and he literally he didn't even know that we switched tuners. And when I started sending him transmissions, like to be checked, like for my car, I just had it checked.
Like our big power cars.
Big power
get 'em-
cars.
we
Right.
pull them and get them refreshed.
He's like, "This looks great. Who's tuning the car?" And I tell him, and he's like, "Oh, I thought John was tuning it." I'm like, no, Corbin's tuning it. He's like, "I like what I'm seeing out of this. Like, keep doing what you're doing and it won't break.
Clutches are looking good.
Yeah,
like there's no print in the gears from being hammered on out of the gate.
I had to replace the ring and pinion in this when I did send it in for a refresh because it was printed because the car was leaving so violent from just hammering the clutch, like just dumping it like a stick car. Because essentially these things, that's how they are. You know, it's like a engaging a clutch, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And a lot of these tuners just hammer the clutch and it just hammers the whole drive line. So of course things are going to break.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the whole roll racing GTRs because the transmission is expensive. You just got to find the right tuner that knows what they're doing, and you'll be.
In these days, so everybody's scared of them, and you know they claim that they're so expensive to build. The only separation from these things from a Coyote or a high horsepower LS that'll hold this same power, the motors are the exact same amount of money to build. Yeah. A Coyote to take 1,600 horsepower or 2,000 horsepower.
Mustangs.
He hates that I.
You're not a Mustang fan?
No.
I actually like. I'm starting to like those, man.
Yeah,
I
so
would definitely
he bought me a Mustang as a present.
Right now.
I would definitely get a Coyote.
He's a good boss.
A little Coyoteville in there, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Turbo.
See? Yep. See, he knows.
I only know because a friend of mine like introduced me to the Coyote platform. And honestly, like if you like boost, I feel like it's a good platform to be on.
Damn right.
It's a good platform for drag racing.
Gotta love that it's on video.
It seemed like it was super hard for you to say that.
Yeah,
because they've only been around for
Coyotes.
They've only been around for 100 years, you know. So of course, I hope they got the suspension and everything else.
How many years? How many years are we with it? This is 07?
08.
08?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have some time. We have some time with these. A lot.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of time.
Quite frequently, we've been getting some very aged cars with some very backyard builds done to them.
Okay. I mean, so from my understanding, it's probably better to get if you're going to build it, it really doesn't matter because you can.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
Get the cheapest one you can get as long as it's not rusted out or it's had 50 million people do builds on it.
Yeah. If you're going to build it and build the transmission. And
if you're going to if you're going to do say 1,000 horsepower package.
Okay.
That's a built motor, built trans. We basically run through the whole car. We redo everything. So we touch everything. Fuel system, motor, turbo kit to make 1,000 horsepower, transmission, axles, you name it. We touch it. Doesn't matter the year. Like
doesn't matter the year.
Doesn't matter the year as long as it's not a rust bucket. You know what I mean?
Right. Is that like an East Coast thing? Because I remember
it is
with the DSMs. They used to have like rust in the shock towers.
We're starting to see it for the East Coast cars. Like you'll start to see it. We get a couple of them in here. That and the bell housing issue. These things have a bell housing that's because the transmission axle's in the back, so the bell housing comes off the back of the motor.
Yeah.
There's a bearing in the bell housing. It makes a clacking noise. Some of them do it from the factory.
At idle.
At
sounds
idle.
like clutch chatter.
Yeah, it sounds like clutch chatter or two plates clapping together.
It's actually a spring plate.
Yeah, so for I don't know, like it's been like the last 6 months to a year. We've been going through. We have them built by ATR, which is they rebuild the whole thing, go through the spring plate, replace everything. They put a bigger, beefier, heavy duty ceramic bearing in it, and I've had one in my car. The same one for 3 years now. No issues. Nothing.
After an upgrade?
After we upgraded with ATR.
Is that recommended though, or that's something that
we recommend it? Like
we do a lot of them.
We do so many of them because you can do it in the car. Like you don't have to pull the motor.
Okay.
And we literally this week we've done 4 just in a week. Literally.
So what does that cost? Like let's say if I had to come
$3,000, including the bell housing.
Oh, that's not terrible.
No, and $3,000 including the bell housing.
Right, considering how much it goes, how much you spend on these cars.
Correct. But if you're looking for like our 900 package or full bolt-on package, or something like that, like stock motor, stock trans, upgraded turbo, you want to do like a 12 and up.
12 and up.
12 and up, because the 12 has the DBA transmission has a bunch of stuff that they revised, and it is a stronger trans. I mean, on a stock motor, stock trans GTR, I think it was like a 13, that red one. We made like 900 with it. Yep. I mean, he signed a waiver because I was like, look, dude, the motor, it's, 900 horsepower. It's a lot for these stock motors. Like the rods are weak in them.
Okay.
That's the weak point, the rods.
All up until now?
Doesn't matter. They're all the same rods. No different.
Okay.
And we made like 903. I mean, he's still got that car now. It's been like 6 months, I think. No issues. But I mean, you're rolling the dice at that kind of power. Like we make between 850, 860 wheel, and we keep the torque at 650, and we keep it kind of linear.
Is that for the transmission?
That's for the rods.
For the rods.
Mainly.
Okay.
The clutch too, because we got to up the clutch pressure a little bit to get it to hold. But I mean, we give a warranty on it with
1 year,
one year unlimited mileage on the block and the clutch. So like, you know, we've done so many of our stock motor packages that I'm confident, you know, that we won't have any problems. I mean, we did one on the car's getting a big build now, but we did one. The car had like 160 some thousand miles on it. It was a 2012.
Okay.
The only thing different that we did other than the normal 900 packages, we did all the time and chain stuff because that should be done 70, 80,000 miles, you know.
Recommended. Service,
recommended, yeah. We did new water pump thermostat, all the time and chains and the intake gears. And he beat the crap out of that car. And now he
slowed it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He beat the
It wasn't
crap
120K,
out of
it
that
was like
car.
150.
No, I said 157,000
Yeah.
miles.
What's the highest mile GTR you've seen?
Slobodan.
Slobodan.
Yeah.
That's his last name, or online
That's
Facebook.
the
I can't
150?
pronounce his other name.
It was like 157,000 miles.
And that's a lot for a car that's been out that long.
It was 09.
I mean,
Oh, was it
a lot
09?
of these,
It was 09.
A lot
It's
of
an
these
09.
guys don't, you know, they don't really drive them. Like you have an 09 behind you right now.
Yeah.
That is a
He bought
09. That was one of the first cars that Tony ever
It's
built.
actually a
It's
08.
an 09?
It's actually 08.
It looks brand new.
Yeah, well, that's because he's an older guy and he takes care
that
of it.
car's got 25,000 miles.
So
It looks
he
brand new.
he
Yeah, it's
pre-ordered that car. Like he's original, like pre-order in 08. He owns a pizza shop in down by us, Middle River Pizzeria. But he was like my first customer. Like I built that motor in my dad's garage, like in 2014.
half a lift.
We had a Max Jacks, I
Yeah,
think.
it was a
One of
Max
those. You
Jack.
ever seen a Max Jacks where it lifts the car up like only 4.5 foot off the ground?
Is it like flat?
We used to have to.
No, it like you can roll it out and then you bolt it to the ground. Like we have holes. It was in my dad's garage. We had holes in the floor. You roll it out and it stands up like a normal lift.
Yeah.
But it can only lift the car 4.5 feet off the ground. So it just enough to get the motor out from under it when you
would
have
have
it.
to take the front lip off
I literally had to sit on one of the little roller chairs
to pull the motor
to unbolt everything under the car to get the motor out. That's how I started, like in my dad's garage.
And even when you went up the 4.5 feet, you still had to shut the hood of the car.
Yeah, because it would hit the ceiling.
Oh, so it was that? It was.
Oh,
that
we was
small.
tight. I was in my dad's 2.5 bay garage, like, you know, and I started like I just did my own car. Like I'm also a Baltimore City fireman, so like I've been doing that for 16 years.
Oh, so you're a fireman?
Yeah, Baltimore City. So I just bought my car. Well, I got beat by one. I think he was on your podcast, Jordan, RK Tunes.
Yeah, Jordan.
He's a good friend of mine.
Shout out to Jordan.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan. He's a great friend of mine. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, without him, I don't even think I'd have a GTR because
Really?
yeah, because I had an E36 M3.
Okay. Is that your like first performance?
First race car, yeah.
Okay.
It was all motor, then we supercharged it. I had it supercharged for a day and I got wrecked by Evo 9.
He was my first race at the track when he was supercharged.
Yeah.
What year was this?
2011,
Okay,
2010.
that's-
Yeah.
I was 17.
I had an
Snuck to the
an
track.
E36 M3 99 or 97, super clean and supercharged it. I ripped that thing off in like 3 days. Went to the track. I think it went like a half a second faster, and I was like, this thing's a piece of shit. Ripped it off, and then I got hooked.
drugged by a Mustang.
No, whatever. And I got hooked up with Jordan, and I was like, you know, what should I do? We turboed it. I put a head gasket on it, and
But you've always been out here, right?
yeah, always out here. Yeah.
So you traveled, or you?
No. He remote tuned it.
Right.
Yeah, like because it was an OBD2 car, so he does stock ECU is his thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we built the motor, and at that time it made like 450, and it was out there. It only made 450 horsepower, and it was out there wrecking people then.
Yeah,
like
that's
it
a
was
good
fast.
Yeah, but when that thing got turned, I'll give it to him. When that thing got,
it was on pump.
64, 66 is what you were.
So we
to?
we went to a 64, 66. I built the bottom end. I put a twin disc in it, ethanol. It made like 680, and this is back in like 2012.
Yeah.
And I ran this car. It was a Z06 nitrous. It went like 990 at the track, and we did a
Jerry
roll.
Herbert.
Yeah, Jerry Herbert. We did a roll race, and I was side by side with him. And after that, like, people were like losing their mind, because back then a Max Effort Z06 was like
The king
God,
of the
like
street.
God, like king of the street. Like, you couldn't beat him. And him and I were like side by side in that car. Yeah. And then I went to Ocean City Hot Rod, and this guy Bruce Keith had I never seen one before. I heard about him. I never seen one. And he had one. He had a black full bolt on GTR on ethanol.
What was that stupid thing that they tuned them on that always stayed in the window?
I don't know. It was a Cobb?
I don't remember what it was. It was always in the window, and it was this like black box.
I don't know.
He had that. It was so old.
It was
like the first way to tune these
Yeah, it was
things.
like I think it was Cobb. It was the first way to. I think it was Cobb. Yeah, but
That makes sense though. I
think it was Cobb.
Yeah.
And
access port.
yeah, it was an
Yeah, it
access
was
port.
Big
It
ass
was-
access port.
yeah.
So
It was terrible.
We did a roll. I'm like, my car makes 680 horsepower. It's fast. Like, you know what I mean? And we did a roll, and he fucked me up bad, to the point where I was like, I'm selling this thing. So like, I hit up Jordan, and I was like, hey, I'm going to sell this and buy a GTR. He's like, I'll buy it. He bought my car from me. And I was like, I was in Ocean City.
Yeah.
And I drove home, sold him the car.
Didn't you find one on the way
Found one
home?
on the way home. Drove home to sell him the car. I found a GTR on the way home.
But what year was this? 2012.
2012.
But what, Craigslist or something? Like, where'd you?
No, it was at a Kuhn Chevy dealership.
Oh, a dealership.
It was at a dealership, and the owner of the dealership, bought the car for his friend, and the friend couldn't get financing for it. So I had at the time I also had like a brand new 6.4 Ford twin turbo diesel truck, and I traded the truck in and put the money that I sold the Beamer down on it to get this car.
How much you sell the Beamer for though? How much you?
I can't remember. I think it was like 16 or 18 grand, something like that. Wow. Yeah, I can't remember.
But it was legit real clean.
Everything.
Parts.
Yeah. He took
CCW classics on it.
Yeah,
the
like
thing looked like
it was
an
gangster.
animal.
It had a 275 Mickey Thompson on the back of it, like
Really?
tucked. Yeah, like we rolled the fenders nice. It was a clean ass car. That's why he wanted it. He bought it. He came down, unsight unseen, bought the car, drove it home, and then I went right to the dealership, traded the truck in, put the down payment, and drove the GTR back to Ocean City that day, and that was it. Like I
Been
had
Mr. GTR since.
Yeah, I had a GTR, and then
2012.
yeah,
When he calls me,
2012.
Still, he's been in my phone so long. When he calls me, it still pops up Mr. M3 or Mr. GTR.
M3, yeah. But so I got in the GTR like click or whatever, and I started messing with my own, and I was like working kind of at another shop, and I'd go home, and my dad had obviously a garage, and started working on my own stuff, and then I'd bring it out and race people and like destroy them, and then other people online stuff, like they would just see it online, be like, who does your work? They would message me, and I'm like, well, I do.
Yeah.
I do my own stuff. And then like my dad has a long driveway next to the house, and like cars were just starting to show up.
They were just piling
Like,
up in this little
in the driveway.
neighborhood on the water.
Yeah, like just in the driveway. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, these guys want me to work on their car, and I need money to, like, the fire department has great benefits and it pays well and stuff like that, but I didn't have that kind of money to put into the car because I wanted to go fast. I wanted to go fast. So I was working on these guys' cars and like doing full bolt-on stuff and putting the money back into my car. And then like 2014, I built the car, built the motor, sent the trans out, and then it went like 940 in 2014. And then I think like 2015 or 26.
On R888s at that.
Yeah, like 20-inch R888s, 940. Yeah. And that's when I got hooked up with John. I've been with John, whatever, and he was tuning the car. And then.
So Visconti was doing GTRs?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, back in like. He just started doing it because he just came out with a flex fuel kit for it.
Wow.
So because we put it on the car and it was literally not plug and play. Like I had to like cut the wires and stuff and like do all that. And then he made a plug and play harness, and I started using it or installing it on other people's cars, and it worked, and it was great. And then
at that time, what was the fastest GTR? What was the record at that time?
At 2014,
just to give like more of a comparison.
They weren't going. I don't think they were going 7s in 2014. Not yet.
Like what, like
I think 16s. I think 2016 is when, or 15 is when they went 7s. I could be wrong, but I'd have to look it up. But like Giddy with AMS, they were doing all the records. So they were the first to the 9s. They were first to the 8s. They were first to the 7s, and I think they were first to the 6s too.
Wow.
Yeah, but we were just trying to go fast.
We were more street
racing at that time.
We were street.
I was street racing.
All street racing.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we got our name.
Workhorse, yeah.
He was out racing. Nobody dig raced the GTR back then.
No.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say,
he was out every
No.
weekend. He was a Honda killer, man, and it was fucking hilarious. Yeah. He once set this big
Honda
turbo
killer?
Honda out 10 cars.
10
and
cars.
That's where he got the Workhorse GTR name. Like,
set him out
because
10
he
cars,
was
a turbo
racing
Honda.
so much, no matter what he ran, he did not give a shit, and he was winning.
Yeah.
So they started calling the car Workhorse.
But you're talking about like 2014, 2013.
Yeah, they were still front wheel drive Hondas.
Yeah, they weren't all wheel drive yet, but like people are like, "Oh, you guys don't street race." I'm like, "Dude, I did that like 10 years ago." Like I've been in the game like for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like gets boring standing out in the cold.
Not that I don't love street racing. I always pick street racing over track racing, but we graduated to where we have to show up on a bigger stage at this point in order to keep cars coming in.
Yeah.
Street racing does it, yeah, sure, but guys with money aren't sitting around watching YouTube all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks, but like, because streets are where we came from.
Yeah.
And we still love it. I mean, I'm out flagging races all the time because I still love it. But, these bigger, more, I guess you could say, mature guys, they come to the track and
they want to compete in the events.
They come to big events.
Yeah, they want to compete in the events. They want their car to be in front of thousands of people. They want to go fast.
You got to think this, this was all happening when social media and like podcasts weren't a big thing at all.
Like,
not in 2014.
You were uploading cell phone videos that were grainy as hell. You know what I mean?
Flip phones.
Like I was on GTR Life and like talking shit in a
you were actual forum.
Oh, we were talking shit on like forums. Like we used to have Racers Den, which was a forum for this area, and you would have to talk shit on the forum, like to go back and forth. Like that's how long we've been in it. It was forums that you were talking shit, not Facebook. Like so, these guys like, oh, they don't. When's the last time you street race? Blah blah blah. I don't want to stand in the cold really till 4 a.m. to argue with you. Like it's stupid. I don't want to do it. Like with the 1Stock thing, we literally stood out there till 4 a.m. It is freezing cold, and I'm like, this is stupid. This is so stupid.
I mean, since you're already on that topic, do you guys mind to kind of talk about this? So, just give us some a breakdown. I mean, there's video of it on Rod's channel, and there's also other videos as well that aren't.
So we had a different flagger because they were not like. They wanted a neutral flagger.
The first race.
Oh yeah.
From the steps to.
We'll go off the first race.
Okay.
The first race. This was stupid because they're saying my man flagged the race. Is the same guy that I flag Peppa and Hesse's races for.
Yep.
His name's Ant. Mm-hmm. Ant's all of our boys. He's neutral. He's one of the ones that actually kind of helped set the whole race up between all of us.
Yeah.
So they picked him to flag the race. And then they bitched about it afterwards, saying that he's on our side because he's in his video, like, excited that Maryland won. Well, cry about it. He's from Maryland. Of course he's happy that Maryland won.
Who cares? Like, he's a neutral party. Like, always.
The first get was as we're driving down, the race is over. I had done stretched the fuck out of him, pedaled everything. He pulls up next to me as we're still driving. He was like, I wasn't ready. My lights weren't on. I'm like, okay, here we go. So we go back to the spot, and then it shows up that the lights were there. Like, he flagged his lights. He was ready.
He flashed his lights. He didn't turn them on.
Then it switched to I crossed.
Yeah, then he crossed.
I rode the line. I'm not going to lie. I rode the line.
Did you cross?
No. My tire never went over that line.
It's
and
just
we slowed it down in
it's a common
6
argument.
different videos.
And another reason why I hate street racing.
Not to mention the fact that road was not straight at all.
No. But that's another reason why I hate street racing, because there's so many steps and try to find your way out of just paying because you got your ass kicked and just come back and re-race. Like, nobody got paid that day. Like, we didn't get paid. We didn't pay them. We're like, we'll lock it in again, but you're going to come over here.
So that was the first race.
That was the first
race.
Yeah. Now, when you guys set that up, was that set up in a group chat, or like did you guys just like how was that? How did they come about?
Actually, the owner of the car kind of set the race up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was leaving for Spain that night to go spend like a month in Spain with his
the owner
wife.
of the GTR.
Right.
His name's
he was
Aaron.
like, either Tony drives or Bradlee drives. That's it. Nobody else is driving.
He was going to drive his own car.
He was.
Yeah.
But they took so long to set it up, and they were supposed to do it the day before.
Yep.
So he could drive, and then he couldn't make it. He was literally texting me from the plane asking what was going on.
Yeah, because whatever they trust, though, you know, we're going to take care of the car and all
so
that.
had he like do the stipulations? Like, how did that work? With
They picked me to drive, Woody, wherever you're at. Woody.
Yeah. That we showed up and they did not want me to drive. They did not.
They were very adamant.
Why were they adamant about that?
Because he's the man.
So they've already seen you drive.
Yeah.
They've only ever seen him
drive.
They had never really heard of him.
They don't even know who, at this point, they don't even know who he is. They just know he works for me. They have no clue who he even is.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I'll put my mechanic in the car. Oh yeah, great. Yeah, we'll do that. Put your mechanic in the car. Okay. You guys are idiots, but that's fine.
What they didn't know is I don't let out because I don't care about my life. And 2, I'm the one that did all the testing in the car.
Yeah, on the street.
Yeah, I was going out. I pulled out one night on asphalt on our test road, didn't even do a burnout. JV wanted draggy data. I stopped, brought it up on launch control. That car went 855 at 178.
On the street.
Just stopping on asphalt.
No burnout. We knew like 1Stock had nothing for that car.
He still hasn't gone faster than that car. Even his little 60 to 130 record. Motherfucker, that car went 280, 60 to 130.
The GTR did on the street. That car isn't. Well, it's being redone now, but that car was an animal.
It's a 58 millimeter class legal car.
Yeah.
So
4.1 stroker.
So when like the second race, that motherfucker hammered down and I had to let out of it. If it would have been a 68 millimeter car, I would have struggled to recover from me having to let out of it.
Because it was completely out of boost.
That 4.1 being at like 6,500 when I let out, as soon as I stepped back into it, she was all there.
Yep.
And I pedaled it again.
The second race was supposed to be better. Like it was more set up.
We were told he wasn't ready again.
Yeah.
But he left before me.
Yeah.
And even when we got to the end, it was just me and him. He was cool with me, man. He was talking like a normal person because not all the cameras were around. And he was talking to me. He was like, bro, I don't know what you did to that car. That motherfucker's completely different from the first time we raced. That thing is an animal. And I was like, yeah, it kind of coughed me. JV turned traction control off and all in second gear. And it caught me off guard too. I was telling you earlier, I didn't read that text message till after we were out of the car.
That's another reason
why. He was
why.
like, you won fair and square. And then his boys get there. You didn't ready up with your lights.
They started talking into his head.
Oh, and then they kept telling me I jumped.
Oh, he jumped. And then it's crossed the line.
He literally left before I did.
They were saying anything that, because their money is in it. You know what I mean? It's a $30,000 per side race.
Yeah.
Their money's in it. They don't want to lose it. And it's just, that's what makes it not fun. Like he was getting ready to pay, and then all his boys were like, no, don't pay him. He jumped or whatever.
So was
the
there
case
video?
may be.
There was no jump. That was the cleanest race.
That was the cleanest race. It was no jump.
Everything, all the lights were on. Everything, that was perfect.
He just got stepped on.
So in the videos, while you guys are watching this and you guys realize that you didn't jump, what were they saying then?
It was just an argument back and forth.
It was just an argument. They just
for hours
run it back again.
So I'm like, run it back.
Gotcha.
I'm
the second race, he jumped.
He jumped.
Like clear as day, and I didn't move an inch.
Yep.
I just sat there, came off.
They blamed it on the flagger.
Blamed it on the flagger.
I said, okay, run it again. We're trying to get a clean race here. I want him to step on you. Mm-hmm. So this is what's going to happen. So I don't argue it. I'm like, run it again. Line up.
Cops came that time.
Cops came. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That was the third time. The third time something happened to the point where the flagger threw the light on the ground. He was just fed up with it. Like 1Stock was doing whatever he was doing. The flagger was so mad after it didn't work, the race was fucked. He threw the light on the ground and was like, I'm done. And walked away. Legit.
We had to have a mirror flag it.
We had to have someone else flag it because the flagger was like, I'm out of this. And it was just a complete argument. And it was...
Cops came. We had to go to a concrete road.
A grooved concrete road. And by this time, it's 4 a.m. It is freezing cold like it is right now.
Yeah.
It's about this time, like around this time. Mm-hmm. It was like 10 days, I think, further. From now, it's like 10 days.
The steps on this
cold as hell.
If either one of the cars broke, it's pay half.
Pay half, yep.
For all across the board,
all across the board. If he breaks halfway, pay half.
So I get up on launch control. I go to leave. Fucking ETS cooks in the car. This thing's full rear wheel drive. You can see it. It's just spinning, not
it's
going
literally doing
anywhere.
A rolling burnout.
I let out like, I'd say maybe 100, 200 feet out. I let out because
the lights are on the dash. Like it's transmission warning lights.
I still have video of the all-wheel drive light just staying blinking.
He drives it all the way back to the spot, and
I told him he could get in the car with me and I'll go floor it.
Yeah.
Or he could even drive the car and floor
You're not familiar with GTR, but an ETS is in the transmission.
Okay.
And when I told you where it pulses the power to the front, it's front wheel drive assist. So like it burnt up to the ETS, and the way Shep sets them up, it fails them open. So they're in rear wheel drive. So it doesn't destroy everything in the drive line.
Right. Sending all
the power to the front.
50-50 split.
Yeah.
Basically.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it literally annihilated the ETS, and the car was in rear wheel drive, and there was nothing he could do. We showed him that it broke, and then I think the cops came. Mm-hmm. He doesn't drive his car. He has it trailered. So they have it on the trailer. He hops in the car. Him and his boy hop in the car with the flaggers.
The guy that has the money.
And the guy that has the money. Things are said, I guess, and they get the money out of from this guy. And
before any of us ever got to meet back up, where we
met at the original spot, like where we first started, and we show up, they're gone. I'm like, where's the money? And he's like, oh, we paid them because they won. I'm like, no, they didn't. The car broke. You should have paid them half at the most. I was like, plus we raced like 4 times and he lost 4 out of 5 races. I'm like, this is crazy. But they were gone. Like, took the money, left. So like, that's why that whole thing came about with like him not paying, and which is true. Like he stole the money and rolled out, and then
Texas.
That's the whole thing that in Texas happened. Because,
that's what he mentioned. So yeah.
Because so Bobby is our customer. Bobby had money in the race, a lot of money, a good portion of money in the race. We get to Texas. We have Peppa there and No Hesse. They're in our pits. They ask us if.
This is what kind of like made me mad during the podcast. Because Peppa's my boy and Hesse's my boy. Yeah. Hesse was the first one to walk in
and ask.
And he came in with Peppa too. And he was like, hey, is it going to be a problem because he's going to hang out with us? And we were like, no. But, we do want to say one thing. He shouldn't park his car over here because it's not us. We don't have a problem with him. We do not care. Don't park his car over here because if Bobby finds out, Bobby's going to be hot. Mm-hmm. Bobby's a wild boy. So he did park his car over there.
And
I walked out to him. I walked out to him and I was like, dude, Bobby already heard that you parked your car over here. He's like on his way from the staging lanes. Can you please leave? Like, I'm not trying to start shit with the dude. We're in Texas to race.
He did.
I'm not worried
and
about
he
that
left.
shit.
He drove off.
He was like, all right, that's fine. That's cool.
He drove
off.
off.
I was like, cool. Thank you.
But when he drove off, he met Bobby. Bobby was in his C701 and they kind of met and they slowed down. And Bobby was like, you want to go out on the street and roll race that thing? For $1,000?
Yeah, it was $1,000 or $1,500.
And he locked it in and they went out and Bobby destroyed him from a roll.
Because he blew a coupler.
Yeah. He came back and said, "I'm not paying because I blew a coupler."
No. This is how he said it, and you don't talk to Bobby this way. Bobby was like, "Hey man, I won, happy," and he was like, "Fuck you, I ain't paying. I blew a coupler." And Bobby's like, "Well, we paid you the full pop when I broke. I want my money."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, fuck you." Well, I told you about Bobby. He's a wild boy, and Bobby cracked him. Took his phone and cracked him. I'm working for everybody that thinks he was saying that there were so many people behind the camera that you couldn't see.
No.
It was Bobby.
It was just Bobby. In his window.
And I think Bobby's friend was with him who ain't going to fight. He's a ginger.
He's like a little...
So you're saying there was only
I'm working...
6 people there? I saw a lady recording on her phone.
Well, no,
I'm working on Hesse's car in the fucking tent.
Yep.
And somebody comes running in the tent and they're like, "Bobby just hit 1Stock." And I'm like, oh my fucking God. I'm normally the only one that can calm Bobby down because he sees me as like his little brother or something. I don't know. And me and Hesse look at each other and I'm like, I gotta go, dude. And I run out and I pick up the phone and I'm like, well, this ain't Bobby's phone. This is a fucking iPhone.
Bobby has a Droid.
Bobby's
yeah. He's a green
so
texter.
you already know he's a few screws loose.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we literally
So I
don't
pick
even
it
respond to people that have droids.
And I'm like trying to follow him. Bobby's like trying to like chase him through the parking lot. He loops around. I see him. Bobby doesn't. Bobby's still trying to chase him. I walk up to him and I'm like, here's your phone back. I was like, just don't talk to him. I'll take care of the phone. I'll get your phone paid for. Like I'm talking to him like a human.
normal person.
And then here comes Bobby.
Yep.
And he just starts fucking screaming. Now,
in the window.
At this point, here's the crowd that he was talking about.
Because he's screaming in the window and it brings a crowd.
Yeah, he's trying to like fight him. Now the crowd's here.
So he calls Merrick,
So he
Stock.
called Merrick.
Merrick
Poor
was in
Merrick.
our tent working on a car.
Cool ass dude. Yeah, he was helping me with
one, no Hesse's car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, he was helping with no Hesse's car.
So
he just he says he looks out, sees the crowd, and runs.
and he ran over, and then
he pushed Bobby.
Stock never got jumped. He never got.
He not even got out of the car.
Slapped.
He got
But
slapped.
He never got
That's
out of the
it.
car. He locked himself in the car with his girlfriend and rolled the windows up.
He never got jumped. Merrick ran over, pushed Bobby, and they squared up.
That's when
and it was
him
1-on-1,
Merrick-
and
Yep.
they were fighting.
Nobody stepped into that.
Nope.
Like
Literally, Peter had
I
to
was
come
pushing
over.
people back and
break it up
Nobody
himself.
jumped everybody.
Nope.
It was a one-on-one fight
One-on-one.
between him and Merrick. Him and Merrick they squashed it.
They
didn't
squashed it after because once Merrick found
Yeah, 'cause
out.
he thought that 1Stock was
getting
literally
jumped.
getting the shit beat out of him.
So once he found out what really happened, because Merrick and Bobby both got kicked out.
Right.
And Merrick drove his car all the way home from Texas. All the way home. And we called him and told him what happened. And he was saying sorry. And we were like, we're sorry, bro. You have no idea what was going on. Yeah, Merrick's cool.
Good ass dude.
He's cool.
Yeah,
He'll help anybody he can. He's cool.
Really
when I
cool.
had my G80 and I first got it and I was trying to race it and stuff like that, he was telling me what his settings are on his G80, when they first came out or whatever. So,
I swear to God, I almost had everything calmed down. Bobby was about to pay for, literally
about to
pulling
give
out
him
cash
$1,000 for the phone.
to give him money for the phone.
Yep.
And then Merrick came over and that went downhill just really fast.
Yeah, because
Merrick's a big boy.
Yeah, Merrick's a big boy.
Merrick ain't
Yeah, he's
short, and
6'3".
Bobby's a big boy.
They're both big. So excuse me, he ran over and just pushed Bobby because Bobby was in his window. And as soon as he pushed him, they kind of just squared off and everybody spread out and it was just one-on-one. And they ended up on the ground, tussling, and we didn't break it up. And then Peter came over and he was like, break it up. And I'm like, all right. So we pull them apart and stuff. But the only time 1Stock got touched is when he originally got slapped. That's it. He did not get out of the car. Ever.
Honestly, I don't think Bobby would actually have hurt him.
No.
Because he's so
Bro,
little
he's
compared to
100 pounds soaking wet. Bobby is as big as Merrick.
Yeah.
He literally just slapped him and took his phone.
Who was with Bobby though?
Rich Rainey was standing behind him, which Rich is not fighting anyone. That
Bro,
man is a sweetheart.
Yeah,
he was just standing behind him.
The whole time when he was trying to when they came
way
back
back.
from the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Because there was somebody in the video that was break his window or something like that.
It wasn't none of us because we weren't over there yet.
There. He was in the toter home drinking because he didn't have a car to drive that weekend.
He was with somebody. That's what it looked like. I'm just going based off the video.
It could have been the ginger kid.
Yeah. It could have been.
He was like break his window and he punched it.
Henry.
Henry. Yeah, his name's Henry.
Yeah.
Or break his phone, I think it was.
Well, no, because when the way his phone got broke and the way his window got broke, 1Stock took off and he threw it.
And Bobby threw the phone out.
And when it kind of frisbeed, and when it did, it hit the corner of his window and broke it.
But he punched the window though.
He did punch it, but he didn't break it.
He didn't break it there.
Okay. No. When he threw the phone, it like saucered and hit the corner of the window and it broke it. And it broke his phone at the same time. Because he wasn't even over there yet.
I don't fight.
He wasn't.
I talk a lot of shit, but I do not fight.
Yeah, he wasn't even over there yet, and neither was I.
Can't fight.
I was in the RV. Yeah. I didn't, and came out because
he was enjoying himself. He didn't have to drive a car for once.
Yeah,
because Bobby had bought his car from
Bobby
him.
bought this car for like 6 months.
For like 6 months.
He basically rented it. Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on to the next thing, in the run though, from the video that I saw. Right, I'm sure that we all saw.
Yeah,
it looked like something did happen. Well, it didn't look like 1Stock was really like trying to race, or he was trying to race, but like it wasn't like a fair run.
It blew a coupler. It 100%, and you blow a coupler on a what are they? They're 5 cylinders. Yeah. You blow a coupler on that. That thing's what, 200 horsepower,
if that.
Yeah. So the car failed.
But
100%.
But you locked in a race with someone for money.
We paid you the full pot,
and there's no steps in it's a roll race, bro. Like, what steps are you going to make?
That's why roll racing is, most people sit when they pee if they enjoy roll racing.
Yeah. Do you think that if that incident didn't happen, right? That they probably would have never.
I wish to this day that they would have never did that, and nothing would ever happen at that track.
But my thing is, if that incident never happened before, where they didn't pay, and they were just roll racing, do you think that Bobby would have ran it back if he knew that his coupler blew off?
Probably.
Okay, so because of the incident that have him.
Well, that incident was the whole reason why he said, "Do you want a roll race?"
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Bobby didn't even know who 1Stock was until that race happened. He had no idea who he was.
And honestly, if none of us ever happened with him and he did just go out and roll race him and he still didn't pay him, Bobby would have did the same shit. I went to the bar with Bobby the year prior, and he was fucking drunk, but he did really well in the racing and he almost won his class.
Yeah.
So he was happy and he was partying. There's this big motherfucker shooting pool, and Bobby starts up with him, and he's just, "You want to take it outside right now, motherfucker? Let's go." And I'm like, me and Mikey right here, we just looked at each other and we were like, "You want to go back to the hotel?" And he's like, "Yep, I'll call us an Uber." Because this boy was big, and Bobby started with him. I'm like, oh my God. So they left there and went to a club, and the bouncer goes, "We're about to leave. We're closing in like 5-10 minutes." And Bobby goes, "Shit, that's all I need." Pushes the bouncer out of the way and goes to the fucking club.
He's wild.
Yeah.
He's wild.
So Bobby's a wild boy. And for the people that saying that shit was like, Bobby's a racist.
No.
As I was telling you earlier, Bobby's the president of a primarily black motorcycle club.
What club is
Rough Riders.
In PA. They have multiple chapters, but
yeah.
Rough Riders is obviously like a big motorcycle club.
That ain't Bobby. Bobby, he gets hot, and he gets hot quick. He gets mad at me when I don't answer his FaceTimes.
He's a light switch for sure.
Yeah.
Like short fuse. Yeah.
But that man's got a great heart. He would have no problem if 1Stock was here now. He'd squash it with him. But I really didn't like that Peppa didn't step up and say that's not how we were, because that's not how we are.
Yeah,
we don't want to fight over.
He shouldn't have let
racing.
1Stock say a bunch of lies on your podcast for no reason. But Peppa is very quiet. Like, he doesn't talk too much. He'll say one-liners, and that's it.
I noticed that while he was talking, he just sat there.
Yeah.
And I get that he didn't want to interrupt his friend, but he knows that we didn't want that.
Yeah.
And we don't. I still don't want that.
We'll race 1Stock.
We'll run you again.
No problem.
Like, the other car's almost done. He already texted me tonight knowing about this podcast and said, "You have my car for me to drive if you want to run him again." So 1Stock, that BMW can get drugged. that TTRS can get drug. Matter of fact, any RS3 TTRS that's feeling froggy, every single one of them in the country can get fucking stepped on.
I would say
everyone.
I would say any B58 too.
Yeah, any B58.
Yeah.
Step on that bitch. Step on his fucking
We
neck.
have a teleprompter.
Stepped on him.
Like what? Like what?
No, like any pretty much any.
He's my prep man. That man's my prep, and you think I talk shit? He agitates the hell out of me.
Any B58 on the street, any TTRS on the street, any RS3 on the street.
I don't care if it's
in what car though?
They got
for you guys.
Aaron's to pick from.
Oh yeah, we got a couple
to pick from, and they got this. We'll
give
them
them
New York here.
We'll give them
to pick from
cars.
By the way,
pick.
Kaiju Turbo Mike, King of New York's over here. You remember that?
Yeah, we
It's
got
a tough race with a GTR. I feel like
it is because
kind of like not a comparison at this point. I think everybody knows that unless you have another GTR.
Oh, I don't know. That's a guy in all-wheel drive army
or a
the
Honda.
other night. He was running his mouth saying Holodex owns the streets. My fucking ass it does.
Well, Hondas too.
All-wheel drive Hondas.
Let's talk about Hondas. Go ahead. You want to say it. Ivan, this is for you. Go ahead.
I will step on any all-wheel drive Honda on the street.
That's right.
To the quarter. Anyone.
You ain't got mile an hour to rely on.
In the maroon car, heads up, anytime on the street.
Drug.
Any all-wheel drive Honda.
There's only out here. Who's like the fastest guy, Los?
And I call him out every other day, and he just hides.
He's seen that 7.2 199 and
he was
shit, I ain't got no
he
mile
was
an hour
he was all about it until he seen the car go 727, and then it's just like crickets.
Chirp chirp.
Crickets.
Even Ivan shut up. Yeah. Ivan never stops running his mouth.
Yeah. I will lock in with them anytime they want. But that's like this side.
Exactly.
That's a Baltimore thing.
You're calling out anybody.
Yeah, but I'll run any all-wheel drive Honda on the street. It doesn't matter.
I think it'd still be like exciting to see though, because anything could happen,
Yeah,
I'm not knocking Los' car. That
thing's fast.
Bad bitch.
I saw a video earlier at RSP, and that shit looked insane. Bro.
And that's
like, what the fuck?
I'm cool with James.
When he ran our boy Ant, Ant, I can't say what he ran, but I know what he ran, and
he got ran down.
He could have had more. He probably could have edged him out. He said he looked back and the fucking car was gone. Like he was gone on him.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I don't have to grab the scramble button.
Nah,
and
yeah,
next
you
thing
do.
You know, he looked in his rear view and Los was
sucked him right
there.
up.
And he was like, fuck.
It was over by that time.
It was over.
Yeah. But
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, I don't care. Like I'll pull the chute on the street. Do not care. I will run.
Oh, we throwing the laundry on Los. Oh, it's happening.
Yeah, that's a Baltimore this side thing, and like me and James are friends, but I know that's his boy, so I talk shit to him all the time. I'm like, get your boy to line up with me. He's like, that's gonna be a good race. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm gonna dig in his ass.
Us.
Yeah.
So who's that's the problem I think now is like, how do you get a good race with a GTR?
We have a stable car. We can bring slower shit out.
That's what I'm saying. Like we have a abundance of customers that will street race
on the street.
On the street, yeah. No, right. Like not just my car. Like we have other cars, but see, they play games like Kaiju. We'll lock in with this car. Well, he goes and calls a GTR that he knows is faster to try to lock in with him. Well, then I'm going to step in because it's just the way it is. Like, don't call a friend. Like he's trying to lock in with you. Mm-hmm. So why are you calling your big brother to bail you out? Like putting the bat signal up, like
we're
please
gonna
help.
Call his big brother and his big brother's him.
Yeah, so like it's just stupid. Street racing is just they've killed it because of that stuff. It's just so dumb. Like lock in, and it's a street race. Like I've lost on the street.
50 shot.
Every time I've lost on the street,
look at our car, it broke.
Every time I've lost with this car on the street, it's broke. It broke an axle, and blew a coupler off. Like the last two times that it raced.
Yeah, you lost to a Mustang.
Yeah, because it blew a coupler off.
He lost to a Mustang. What does that mean?
I just got
he just likes agitating me, but
curse.
But like both times was to a Mustang actually. So
wait. So a Mustang would probably be a good run, no?
on the street
Yeah.
to the quarter, because they all want to run 8th mile.
Right.
They don't want to run it out the back.
I forgot about that.
They try to stip everything to their advantage. So
here's the problem with 8th mile. It's like getting a fuck a 10, like a dime. You get the banger, but you don't get a nut. Sure, you fucked, but did you really? Like, it don't happen that way. You know what I mean?
Interesting analogy.
Like, that's a great concept.
Very, very interesting analogy.
Racing to the 8th is 660 feet short of a real race.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
It's
like
we go to the big end, boys. That's where the men get separated from the boys.
So
you're not comfortable trapping 170, 180? We are. We're comfortable with trapping 200, and we have no problem doing it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the main reason why Mustangs or whatever, the older cars and stuff like that, they all want to do, they want to do 8th mile. Yeah. They want to do 8th mile stuff. You know what I mean? And I just don't. Everyone knows that GTR weaknesses is a Pro Tree, which we're already running off of a single light. So it's basically a Pro Tree. So I'm going to have a delay.
We can't ready up.
We can't ready up at all. You know what I mean?
Period.
No, period. No. Like, no, you'll never.
All GTR classes
are all sportsmen.
Sportsman tree.
Can you kind of break that down a little bit?
I can. We'll bring up Ryan. What happened to Ryan
at World Cup
finals?
So the car that went 6s
is Pro Tree. He's running a nitrous Mustang.
Ryan Zeeler. Yeah.
The nitrous Mustang did my boy Ryan dirty.
Double bulbed him.
He double bulbed him because he knows if that GTR goes in second, he can't get ready in time.
Nope.
So he waited for Ryan to stage the first light. Here he comes in, lights the double, and the Mustang just goes straight in and double bulbs him. So then Ryan's got to edge in without launch control, try and spool 6785s. Yep. Which ain't happening.
Not in a V6.
And the Mustang, I'm shit you not, the Mustang's at the 60 foot before Ryan actually
takes off.
The car's spooled and ready to go.
Yeah. And it's a nitrous
Ryan
car.
was trying to run him down. The car was on a mission. Like,
it went 6,
he couldn't do it.
or whatever, you know. Yeah. But like Pro Tree just isn't cut out for GTR. It has a delay.
These guys know that, and
so they figure,
because they're chicken shit, they take that shit to their advantage.
So they figure they'll do a Pro Tree, so they'll get the hit and the delay. They'll run it to the 8th. There's no time for the car to catch up to them. You know what I mean? Okay. If you run it out the back door, there's a big chance this car traps almost 50 mile an hour on the back half from the 8th to the quarter. Actually, I think it does, like 57 miles an hour on the back half. Like from the 8th, it went 150.
No, it wasn't 50. It wasn't 50. It was like you went 157.
157. I chopped 157 to the 8th. I chopped 199 to the quarter.
Okay.
And honestly, we were kind of out of gear.
Yeah,
we
like
were
the car.
Through the traps in 9,400.
Yeah, 9,400 RPM.
We actually have to put bigger tire on the car so that way we can go well into the 200.
It probably would have went 200, but whatever. That's here or there.
It was 100 RPM away from the limiter.
Yeah, because I was like. Yeah. You know, but so they try to crutch you, like handicap you, whatever you want to call it, to get the advantage. You know, they don't, at least if you're going to run on the street on a single, because we used to do like arm drop stuff. If you do arm drop, I can ready up the car. By the time his arms go up and I let off the brake, they're going down and I'm going. But now it's off a light. So it's kind of just like a Pro Tree. So there's a delay. I have to stip that I have to stage second in every race, because if not, stage first, or they'll burn me down or not let me ready up. You know what I mean? And racing to the 8th, you have no time to back half the car. So like even if the other
cars do not 8th mile well,
no, they don't.
But they don't 60 hard.
Like the car went 727, it went a 470.
470.
470 to the 8th. Like that's not that good.
Don't get me wrong, it's fast, but you know, a lot of these big tire cars, they put all-wheel drive in big tire, but honestly, you start getting on a good surface with a small tire car. Small tire car's gonna fuck this thing up to the 8th.
Yeah,
because
that's why I don't enter it in any of the like bridge, whatever that stuff in West Virginia is. What's it called? That airport thing that they do.
Yeah.
It's all 8th mile. And all-wheel drive.
One DSM showed up to that thing.
Yep.
They never let all-wheel drive in again.
Well, they do. You got to go in the big tire class.
Yeah.
I'm on a 28. I'm a small tire car, but because I have 4 wheels and the front's only, they're just assist. They're not. It's not a true 50-50.
They only send about 300 foot-pounds.
But
of torque
still,
to the front.
they're so scared they put you in the big tire class where and it's to the 8th. So it's not even worth it to me to even enter the class. It's stupid. I hate it. It was quarter mile or nothing. Like that's it.
I'm still trying to understand this whole this light situation. You're talking about the track.
Yep.
At the track. Well, even with a single light.
But how do you not? How can you not like?
Well, there's a delay, no matter what.
With the DCT, right?
So with a Sportsman, you know how the yellow bulbs, it goes 1, 2, 3, green. Right. Well, it gives you a chance to know when to let off the brake to where that's going to be
the car time to build boost.
Yes.
Too.
So you can kind of guess.
I can kind of guess it.
Right.
With a single light, I got to let off the brake when I see the light, and that's a delay because you see the light, you let off the brake. I mean, you could slow a video down. The brake lights will be off, and the car will just be sitting there.
You literally
we've slowed it down. It just be sitting there, and then all of a sudden it'll take off. It's a delay like crazy.
When you go into the second bulb to ready up at the track, and it's on a Pro Tree, he has to just let his foot off the brake and let the car clutch creep.
I'm talking
into
like
the second bulb.
I got to.
That's what I'm trying to.
I got to barely.
He's not on launch control where everybody else is on a trans brake and they're tapping in and they're ready.
No, I got to barely creep it into the second bulb and then
he's got to floor it, and that thing needs time to spool 68 millimeter turbos on a
4.1 liter.
4.1.
Yeah.
Like it's a 6-cylinder trying to spool twin 68s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it takes a second.
Yeah. Right.
So I have to barely creep into the second bulb, and then as soon as it lights, I have to get on it real quick because if not, I'm gonna get.
We tried testing. We tried back in the day before. I'm about to tell you something else that we've been kind of hiding, but we tried testing on a Pro Tree because he wanted to run this guy at the track so bad.
Yeah.
We couldn't get the car down and ready and 60 and good without at least 3/10. It was a 3/10 reaction time. So if we ran him,
I'd have to be 3/10 faster just to be next to him. Because he's leaving off a button.
He gets to leave off a trans brake. We need to make up 3/10, and it wasn't happening.
No.
Can you have a shitty reaction time and still win a race?
You can, yeah. If you just straight overpower the other car.
Right.
But like I was telling you when I raced Christine, she legit had, I mean, at that power level, 7-second times, you have 10 mile an hour on me and like a half a second almost, you know what I mean? And still couldn't come around me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because of the reaction time.
The delay is
ruins it.
You only got a couple seconds to come past that person.
Yeah, like you need to have like a lot more power than the other person to be able to.
So after that World Cup final stuff happened, that kind of lit a fire under our tuner's ass, and it kind of pissed him off. To be honest with you,
because he tunes that car, Ryan Zeeler's car too, our tuner Corbin,
and it lit a fire under his ass, and he got pissed. He took that shit personally, and I don't blame him because Ryan got robbed. Ryan would have won that class.
Yep.
Period. And we started working on something, and it seems to be working. We got to get to the track. We're going to try it in Texas this year, but we can now bump the car in.
So you guys are the first doing this?
Yes. So Corbin is the first doing it.
It's
Ryan will have it too, I'm sure.
It's a little difficult now because of the way you have to do it.
It's very difficult. So it's going to take some.
Yeah.
You have to foot on the brake, launch control, bring it up on launch control, hold the cancel button down to keep
cruise
it on
control.
launch control.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Let your foot off the brake slightly.
I mean, barely.
Until it bumps into the beam. Get your foot back on the brake and let go of the cruise control.
And
wait for the light to drop. Then let your foot off the brake.
Yeah. It's a whole Nintendo ABAB up there.
Yeah. So
I'm done.
It's crazy.
If you practice and you get the rhythm right, it could change. It could change drag racing in GTRs forever.
We could probably get it on a button of some sort.
Yeah.
We'd have to figure it out. But Like we've already tested it out here. We posted a small clip of it, just me bumping in, but it's easy to do. Not under pressure. It's easy
to do when you're not next to somebody.
Or when there's, your first year is going to be this year in Texas, but it's like World Cup finals. Thousands of people are in the stands. Like it's hard to do. Like you have to concentrate. So I'm going to test it in like qualifying because I just need to qualify a time. And if I don't feel comfortable, I'm not going to do it. But I'll mess with it and see how it is. See
how much of a difference in times will that like
if you can bump in, it changes things drastically because
it will just allow GTRs to start racing on a pro tree.
You're still going to have the delay.
They're going to be able to go to World Cup final. A lot of these GTRs go to World Cup finals for the prep and
just to test.
I get asked all the time why we don't go. Them GTRs are legitimately only going there for
the weather,
prep,
the DA,
weather,
and the
density
prep.
Altitude. Like
they're there to
if
run
they happen
times.
to go rounds, cool. But they're going there for their personal best.
Yeah, they're going there to run time. Like before that time, Ryan had never been sixes. Like so,
that car went 3
sixes in a row. Yeah. So before that, they tried in Texas last year, and they had all sorts of problems for different reasons.
Close though. She's
7.0. I think
is a unit.
It's a unit. I mean, it's a race car, but it was built well. Grade A garage. We're friends with Matt. He's the owner. They did a really, really good job on that car. It's set up very, very well. It won 160 foots,
which is
160 foots in a GTR unheard of, and it does it every single time. It's it's pretty legit. So, I mean, we're gonna mess with the bump in stuff, and if it works, then I'll try to move forward and see if we can put it on a button, because when you let off, the car has carbon rotors on it.
Okay.
So when you let off the brake, if you let off too much, it'll just jump.
Yeah. Carbons don't like working unless they're hot.
They got to be hot. But I'm barely letting off. So I got to concentrate on letting off of the brake until it lights that second bulb. Then I got to put my foot back on, let off the button, and then I'm ready. It's going to be difficult to do. I think if we get it on a button, it'll be way better. But we'll see how it goes. It's like testing stages and stuff.
Right.
But if it works and we get it on a button, I think it would people would go nuts. You know what I mean?
No, it definitely
that owns GTRs, they would go crazy.
Right.
Because if you just hit a button and it just bumps in, that's sick. That's cool.
Have you guys seen Odom Racing?
Odom, yeah.
John Odom. I worked on his car 2 years ago in Texas.
Not the blue car.
The blue car.
No, that's not a real GTR.
He has another GTR that competes in the 68 millimeter class.
Right. Yeah. I love John. He's a great guy.
Sweet guy.
Great guy. I mean, the body is a GTR, but it's got a Hemi in it. It's not a GTR.
So does he troll? Does he do that?
Yeah. He does it.
He enjoys it.
He enjoys it. That's his thing. He loves it.
He's the man.
Yeah, he loves it. But he is a true racer at heart. When the COVID stuff was going on, they were going to shut the track down. He was literally going to pay the track just to stay open just for the racers. Literally, he was I'll pay to keep the track open.
And for anybody that thinks he doesn't have a fast GTR,
he does.
He does.
And it's built by Brad Jepson.
It's a very low 7-second car. Actually, the first 200 mile an hour pass in 68
millimeter
class.
What's
the first one?
Yeah, he went 200 in the class.
So don't have no fear. John Odom is a bad man in any version of a GTR.
I think he just wanted to take it to the next level, get on Street Outlaws and build an actual pro mod, and he just does the trolling thing because he likes it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how you guys felt about that, because sometimes
he loves it.
He's too great of a guy.
But if you meet him in person, he's cool. He's cool. He's cool.
Brad Jepson wasn't at the track yet.
Yeah,
and he had broke the axle in the car in testing. He brought the car over to us. We put him right up on the max jacks.
We changed it out for him real quick
and changed the axle for him. I mean, that's there.
But Brad Jepson's also my boy. He does
he's
all of our dude. He does all of our billet front diffs. We do billet case front diffs with either wave tracks or quaifs, whichever he has, and billet ring and pinion for the front. Brad does all of ours, and we haven't had one break yet. He does a great job with that stuff. But Brad's a great dude. He knows what he's doing in the GTR world as far as building cars. But he's you know, he's in Utah. He's on the other side of the earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I only see him like if he comes to World Cup finals or Texas, you know what I mean? And we hang out or whatever. But
so what do you think it is that makes the GTR so like power hungry? It seems like it's like these cars just make power easy.
the motor is designed,
If there's money.
Yes, the motor is designed very well. The heads are very, very
Very efficient.
Like
The heads are efficient.
yes, they are efficient.
Okay.
Like
Porting does not, believe it or not, doesn't pick up that much on it.
we've made like 50 wheel from a CNC like full race port, and some of the cars you don't make anything. It's not even really worth doing. The customers just like it because you see it and it looks cool. You know what I mean? Cleans it up.
It still does make more power, but it's nothing.
The heads are so efficient that you don't need it. And
Do they flow? Because Coyote heads they flow pretty well too.
So it's
Coyotes copied GTR, but that's okay.
That's what I'm saying. So what's the difference here? Because you mentioned that before.
It's got 2 extra cylinders. That's it.
Yeah.
They copied it.
So
like, to a T.
they are very honestly, the way they make power and everything. We've had a Coyote make 1450 here on the dyno,
a twin turbo one.
Okay.
where both cams are still working, not locked out, and we put it up next to another 1450 horsepower GTR.
Identical.
The fucking dyno graphs were identical.
They're identical.
The only thing that was different was
I think it's
you
spooled
could see
faster.
it being a 5 liter.
Yeah.
You could see the cubic inches.
Yeah.
That is it. The runs were exactly the same.
Yep.
It's just a 6-cylinder Coyote.
Yeah, like GTR motor came out before Coyotes. So
It's a 6-cylinder Coyote.
I mean, they're
like
very close in design.
One of the things that I preached to him for years, and I got told I was really stupid for wanting it and all this crap. You've heard of ghost cams and Coyotes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that chop is fake. They
can't
have stock cams in it.
They
but
can't
the
chop.
cam phasers can move.
Yeah.
So they're swinging the cam
Back and
phasers
forth.
in order to make the chop happen. So I'm getting my hair perm for Texas last year. And I'm like, man, I really wanted Corbin tunes GT350s like Coyotes.
Yeah.
And they do ghost cams in that.
Twin turbo ones.
And I've been saying for years, back when JV tuned it, I got told I was stupid and it's not going to work.
Well,
and
to
all
be
this
fair,
crap.
Corbin said you're stupid for it too.
Yeah, until all you motherfuckers heard that chop for the first time. They tried it on his car.
Yeah, my car first.
And it started loping and chopping. And ever since then,
What started chopping?
this chops. You can go on our
both these
Facebook
cars
and clip it out and put
like
it in
a
here. You'll
big
see like
cammed LS car.
they chop. Like this thing chops. Like it got like 200,000+ views of it just sitting chopping. Like they chop hard.
We
What were
probably
the
brought
comments
in,
on that 200,000 views?
They think it's a LS in the background. and,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I
they
figured that.
talking
That's-
shit.
that's-
Yeah,
yeah,
like
okay.
I'll start this up later for you before
Yeah.
you leave,
And
so
you
that
can hear
you
it.
can hear this thing chop.
It chops.
It's funny.
Is that on the
because-
cold start at all
No.
times?
all
no,
times.
So here's the best part. It doesn't start chopping until the cam phasers turn on at
Yeah,
120 degree oil temp.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And as soon as it heats up, then the cam phasers start swinging, and it starts chopping. Then
Yeah. So it.
I got to hear this.
Yeah.
oh, it sounds sick.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty.
sick.
It's pretty cool. I mean,
And now everybody loves something that a Coyote's been doing since 2011.
yeah, like literally,
Yeah, this
car does it. This car does it. This car does it. That car does it. Like they all wanted it like immediately. You can't do it on a stock ECU car. It has to be a Motech car.
So these are all Motech.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah. So-
the only ones that's not Motech is this blue one right here. But
Okay.
it has to be on Motech because the EcuTech can't control the cams like that.
Right.
That's
right.
finite.
Yeah.
basically.
Motech, you can control literally everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
anything that
it's
you can
ridiculous.
dream of in the middle of the night.
It's
Motech can
it's
do.
expensive, but it's
Yeah.
worth it. You know, the car with EcuTech, it won't leave consistently. One time it might leave good. The next time it'll leave completely different.
Yeah.
It's not fat. It can't control the launch control or the boost control, you know, as well as a Motech. And, you know, the torque management for Motech is light years.
Unparalleled.
It's light years ahead.
Their traction control
Yeah.
on the street. That's
What does
another.
it cost for a Motech on a GTR?
It's like 15 installed.
15? Yeah.
Installed and tuned.
I figured because I
Yeah.
think Dan Rue said that. He said it
Yeah,
was like
it's 15 installed and tuned. Yeah.
The traction control is just.
But it's worth it
It's
if you.
unbelievable.
So I'm saying it's probably worth it.
It's worth it if you street race the car or if you dig. It's worth it if you dig race the car. We have plenty of EcuTech cars that go from a roll, and they're fast. 6130s in the twos, like high twos. You know, from a roll, it makes no difference with these cars, but because we still use EcuTech to tune the trans. So so EcuTech is still being used.
There is no Motech.
There is. Tony Palo is the only one that has it.
The only one that has the Motech trans ECU.
But the EcuTech
Why is this?
It's been in development for 10 years.
Yeah, it's been in development for a minute. But the only reason why, main reason is EcuTech works really well for the trans. So there's no reason to change it. You know what I mean? It's cheap.
Right.
You know, to flash it and just tune it. Motech does most of the work, you know, for engine management and getting the car to go down the track. But for roll racing, you don't need it. It's not a necessity.
Well, so you guys know Billy, right?
Yes.
Assassin.
Yeah.
So
good friend of him. He's a great guy.
I heard that he had some type of GPS type traction control or something like that.
Yes.
Do you know anything about this?
Based. We don't really typically do it with these.
No.
Okay.
We've just never.
How does that work though?
Billy's car makes.
I had
3,500 horsepower.
I had it on the I had it on the R8, and it's actually, I believe it's a Cyvex thing that I don't want to say the wrong things, but I had Tony Palo tuned the shop R8, and I think it's a Cyvex GPS, and I had it on the car, and it's GPS based traction control. I mean,
but how does this work? Can you kind of like explain in very, very basic terms?
I can't. I mean, I don't.
Like, what is the GPS doing?
We've never messed with it to know.
So it's seeing speed, and then it's from what I understand, it's seeing the speed of the car and referencing all the other parameters for like sensing slip in the tires,
right?
Yeah,
and they all kind of like work together in order to plan as much power.
I don't know
possible.
if Billy will be able to explain it. He might. You might.
Terrence will be able to explain it. Terrence.
Yeah,
by the way, shout out to my boy Terrence. He's the man that drives Billy's car.
Yes,
right.
And Terrence Cox
he's a bad motherfucker.
He is an animal.
Yeah,
he's in that car.
He's a bad dude.
Tony Palo,
to get in that car and go. Have you ever been to Poconos?
No.
I've been over 200 in Poconos. Going around that turn is sketchy.
And Terrence went 240. There is a GoPro of him in the car, and they don't play this enough. He come into that corner. They don't want you to use parachutes either.
No, you can't because you're taking a turn.
Yeah.
So he's coming into the corner. That car's sliding in that corner trying to
slide. It's crazy.
Terrence is one of the best drivers on the planet.
That track is like this, right? When it goes around the turn.
Right.
I start in the low lane, and when I go to the end, I like kind of point the car up because going up the hill, it slows the car down fast. But still, you're trying to turn around this turn still over 100 plus mile an hour. I guarantee he was doing over $160 around that turn. I guarantee it. And the car just slides. It's crazy.
It was sliding probably a couple 100 feet sideways.
He's insane. Like he is just crazy. But he's a great driver, you know. But that's why they put him in the car. You know what I mean? Because they know he's going to
in anything.
It's going to go fast.
Do you think that they're running at like 3,500?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You could see. It's pretty crazy. You could see the camera
when they grab the button.
When they grab the button, supposedly that car is on like 100 pounds of boost on a scramble. And when it looks like the camera like fast forwards.
It's 60 to 130. Yeah. A joke. When that car hit 160 mile an hour, Terrence grabbed that button, and I swear to God, when you see it from the in-car, that thing from 160 to 240 is going.
It looks like it
picks
skips
up 500 horsepower.
It looks like it skips
every bit of it.
Yeah, it looks like it literally skips.
Insane.
Yeah. It's a
you got to see
bitch.
the in-car video. Of
I never saw
it.
I just see the
they
GTR,
have it. They have it if you YouTube it or whatever. He probably has it, Billy. But like the in-car video, it really shows like the driver of what he's doing, and it shows like how fast that car really is.
The 60 to 130 was and then he hits like I want to say it was like around 150. He grabs the button, and I'm telling you, from 150 to like 220, that thing was unbelievable.
Yeah. It looked like it was
terrifying.
It looked like it was sped up. Like they sped the camera up. I'd never seen anything like it.
What?
I was like, that's insane. That car is retarded.
That's not a car you have
No, and that thing is a roll race car, like through and through. Like that thing is gonna do work this year in Texas. Like that thing is gonna.
So that's roll racing. So who from a dig is right now leading? for the GTRs.
With the GTRs,
We're hoping us this year in the 68 millimeter class.
hopefully
from
the
a dig, because that's
from
what, I mean,
from a dig, in the 68 class. Hopefully we do, but I mean,
We got-
there's a lot of race cars in my class. Like you got Wally from AMS. That thing is a race car, like straight up through and
on
through.
like a 16 volt system. It's
Yeah.
got to be push barred to
They
the
push
starting
bar
line.
to the starting line. Like it is a race car.
yeah.
One coil pack on that car is the cost of all 6 coil packs on that car
like
plus the plugs.
Yeah, like there's a few in that class that are straight race car, but you can't say. I mean, they follow the rules. Whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm still going to take my car in that class, and
Right.
anyone can win. You know what I mean? Anyone. The most consistent car is going to win. That's it.
That's
the most consistent and one that
that's
cuts a
true.
light and one that's fast. Like the year that 2020, my car was a 750 car. There was cars in that class that were going 7.0s, 7.0 and 7.1.
Wally was one of them,
Yeah.
7.1.
They either broke or they got treed.
Or they had to let out.
Or they had to let out 'cause they're
slicks
gonna hit the wall.
Yeah. Wally's car,
Yeah.
as it may be bad, it's very inconsistent car because
it'll go
it is
680 one time and it'll go break the next,
750 the other.
or it'll go 750 the next. Like it's very
Two
inconsistent.
750 cars made it to the finals.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
you and Jan.
Me and Jan. Yep. So like two 750 cars when you got a whole bunch of low 7-second cars made
Yeah.
it to the finals in that class. Anybody can win. And Tom pisses me off, our customer, for this too, because he just always thinks that he can't win because
He's
there's
the underdog.
6-second cars in the class, blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, you're probably a better driver than any of them. I was like, when he raced the next year, his car 2021, he beat Christine Dodworth twice, and she was like the number 2 qualifier. He had to race her twice because they said that the beams were messed up or something was going on with the flagging system.
Right.
Beat her twice. I'm like, dude,
He
anybody
lost to Odom in the semifinals.
he lost to Odom in the semifinals, a 7.0 car, and that's when he went 200 for the first time in that class. So like,
It happens all the time. I boosted, Mo. He
Yeah.
actually won last year, I think,
he
right?
did, yep, for
And against a
Unlimited.
car that was faster than his, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so that's another thing.
Yeah.
He entered into Unlimited
Yep.
with a car that had no
Should-
business
no
being
business
in
being in
Unlimited.
that class. The only
he
reason
should have
why.
been in 68.
Yeah.
And the only reason why he
Nitrous.
wasn't is because Yamo had nitrous on the car.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yep.
I think I talked to Jamo and he was like, he just came here to have fun and wanted
Yeah.
to dial the nitrous in.
That's
Wow,
it.
He won
and
the class.
Look
Yeah,
at
he
that.
won.
He beat out killers.
That car made like maybe 2,100. There's cars in that class that make 3,000.
I know, that's what he was saying.
Caesar's car is a bad bitch, and it makes like 3,000, I think, plus.
Yeah.
But in drag racing, anyone can win. It's
Right.
There's
It's A to B, baby.
it's A to B, consistency and reaction time, and getting the car to 60, reaction time, not braking, you'll go rounds. Simple as that. And you don't red light, you'll go rounds. So
It's a super impressive platform.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, but I don't know. We'll see what happens this year. I'm going to take some weight out of the car. I'm not. It's still going to be a street car. I'm going to try to get it down to the weight class is like 3550.
Okay.
Going to try to get it down to as close as that as I can, and see if it'll go 6s. I mean, it has more left in it just the way it sits power wise. We just have to bring it in sooner in second.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to change out the front wheels and do a 17 with the same tire that's on the back of it
Okay.
to try to get it to go a 1.1 60 foot. It should with that setup.
So the velocity stacks are working so well on the car.
Yeah.
And they help so much with the boost controller that in second gear, the car is 98% wastegate duty cycle. And that's it. It's tapped out in second.
Yep.
But it's bringing in so much air from the velocity stacks and the 4-inch radius pipes that we have on it that when it goes into third, it drops the wastegate duty cycle down to like 58%. So we can lean on it even more.
Yeah.
So when it was maxed out at 60 pounds,
Yeah.
not in third, we can go to like, we're thinking that it should achieve 70 pounds, no problem. The turbos are not going to be happy about it.
Yeah.
But you know what? We want that 6 with a 68 millimeter street car.
Yeah.
And we're going to shoot for it.
Yep.
We want to be the first in the 6s with
a street car,
a real street car. Yeah, it has the side exits, but to be fair, that was me. I begged him to do it because I thought it was gangster.
and
honestly, it made the car more drivable. You roll the windows up in that car with
you can have a conversation.
The cutouts versus having a full 5-inch exhaust out the back. There's no drone.
No.
You can even play the radio and have a full regular conversation.
Like when you go to the track, a lot of these, like I had this argument with Felix because he made a post like when I was going rounds, and he pointed at my car and said race car, and he pointed at the car I guess he tuned and said street car. Well, the street car has dumps that go dump right under the car.
Right.
I have fender exits. There's no difference.
Drive that dump car down the street one time.
Except for like the beating of the sound off the ground and it going up into the cab and deafening you. Like it literally is, the drone is unbearable.
Yeah.
I used to have to wear like earplugs and my helmet on because I used to not have the side exits. You just have the dumps like everyone else.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
It's pretty common though. I mean, coming from Hondas, like people do
everybody,
that shit all the time.
Yeah, and it's still a street car. They still drive it on the street. Who cares? Like they do it in the super world now. They got it coming out of the hood.
Yeah, they do.
Like who cares? Like
That's
it's still got AC and heat and power steering and radio.
Everybody else is dumping their exhaust. Like this car, this has full exhaust on it right now.
Yeah.
When we prep it for Texas, the exhaust comes off.
Yeah, it's got
and
dumps
we run
to the ground.
dumps straight down to the ground.
Like I said, like the turn downs or whatever. Right. This car is super clean. He doesn't want to put fender exits in it. But
this car is still heated, 2,100 horsepower, heated leather seats.
Yep.
And I mean full interior.
It probably weighs.
This thing's a show car more than it is a race car.
Yeah.
It just happens to back it up.
Yeah, make power. But
it's still got the factory fuel tank in it. It's got a single one brushless pump making 2,100 horsepower. Like, we built this car to, 1, be the king of New York. 2, go up and win a car show. Same thing with this. 2,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
It went to Chris Miller SummerSlam, won the car show.
Yeah, the way these cars are set up, like that's a show car.
Yeah, but it makes 2,000 horsepower.
But most show cars, they have crazy setups, and they're not really like you don't see them racing.
Yeah,
these are actually functional.
Yeah,
it's like a good mix of
he's been
speed.
This will be his 5th year in Texas with us.
Yep.
These cars are expensive, right?
Yes. So, I mean, you could pick one up now. That
I don't know. He's gonna ask the question.
I know he is. I know.
Everybody
so I'm gonna say like. You can pick one up now, a clean one. It'll be an older one, 60s, 60,000.
60,000.
Yeah.
So all right, so that's like a little bit more than a Supra.
Pick one up for like 49 or 50.
So Tom's first. I know what you're going to ask.
Tom's
first hit with us. He wanted. He didn't care what happened. He didn't care what it cost. He wanted 2,000 horsepower. His bill was $198,000.
Yeah, I mean,
in this car.
Yeah.
No, it's not here, but it's identical to his.
The car that won the 60 to 130.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one that holds the 60.
He's got
around the same price, no?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got 200 grand into it for sure. I mean, but that's a car that goes bottom 7s. I mean, what do you want? It's a street car that goes bottom 7s. I mean, you take a V10. I mean, you take a Huracan, or it's the same price.
Yeah.
Both his car and Tom's car, we went to DCT World Cup. They have a dinner that's like 45, 50 minutes from the track.
From the track.
We were the only 2 people to drive our cars from the track to the dinner.
I pulled that bitch in valet right up front, both of us.
Tom went to his mom's house, which was an hour and 30 minutes away, said hi to his mom, and then drove an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 45 minutes to the hotel where the dinner was.
And then afterwards we went to the strip club in the cars.
No, we didn't.
Yes.
In the cars.
No,
they didn't.
You tried turning the Uber around.
Yeah. I tried to turn the Uber around.
Yeah, the Uber was like, they have me rerouting. We're like, no.
But me and Tom were like, we're going to, because everyone's like, we're going to the strip club, blah, blah, blah. Like all the like T1 guys and stuff. They're like, Terrence is like, come to the strip club. We're going to Cheetahs, blah, blah, blah. And me and Tom and Corbin are like, all right, let's go. I'm like, well, we're in our car. So like, screw it, let's go. So we drive. They're in the Uber. I set up the Uber. I'm like trying to turn the Uber, like reroute the Uber, and they're like, no.
We're
whatever.
like, we got cash. We just want to go back and
so we drove to the strip club and then drove all the way back to the track. Like 40 minutes to the strip club, 40 minutes to the track. Like these are true street cars, like through and through.
So what am I getting with 60K though?
60?
Yeah, you said you can get one of these for about 60, but what am I getting with that?
Like the car or putting another 60 into it?
Numbers. Yeah, like, no, I'm saying like 60,000 if I have one already. I'm saying
if you have
buy a 60,000, if I buy a GTR for 60K, what are some things that are more common around that price? Because that's like on the lower end, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like a 09 or a 10.
09. And so are those usually like the transmissions, or they have some type of...
They do. They have the TSB clips and seals and stuff like that. But I mean, like I said, we've done 900 packages on them.
That's our big... Yeah. Everybody loves is our 900 package. Stock motor, stock trans.
Yeah.
You come in here with a bone stock GTR.
Okay.
You leave here with a Rampage intercooler, Turbo Smart blow-off valves, all the piping for the intercooler, which is Rampage's, bar none, the nicest intercoolers out there.
Yeah.
For if you stay below 1,800 horsepower.
Yeah.
You buy once, you're done. It's the prettiest piping.
Our packages
modified.
Our packages kind of like give you a chance to upgrade to the next instead of like
a coolant tank,
pulling them off.
You have
and
a catch can. You get black powder coated manifolds, black powder coated throttle bodies, Boost Logic 1050X, which in the long run, if you come back and you want a built motor, you're good to 1150 horsepower with a 1050X.
Yeah.
You get tires, which we mount and balance for you, and you get your choice of exhaust.
Yep. How much?
$25,000 outdoor, barring like some little things that you might change with the exhaust.
Yeah, I mean,
and if you don't get tires,
so 85,000 I'm looking at right now.
85,000. You'll have a low 5 second 60 to 130 car.
Yeah, you're also getting a fuel system.
Yeah,
you're getting injectors. You're getting flex fuel.
Yeah,
like
it's a whole build.
A lot. Your tuning software, your dyno time,
and the same build. If you get a year warranty with it, unlimited miles.
Okay.
The same build after the year, you come back and say, "Hey, I'm bored. I want to make more power." We just build the motor and the trans, and we give you a little bit more fuel, and it'll make 1150 wheel, and we'll restart the warranty for another year. So
like these guys in the street with these GTRs. Can you keep up with them with those kits?
With the 900 and the one? I mean, the 1000 kit. I mean, our 1000 package is fast. I mean,
we have a 900 package, a stock motor, stock trans car.
485
out there. Kyle, boy,
yeah.
That car went 480 on a stock motor and stock trans, 60 to 130
multiple times. Yeah,
that's stock motor,
dude, stock trans
moving.
Yeah. Multiple times, 480. I mean, that's the fastest one we've done,
right?
But typical results:
low fives, five teens all day, consistently, 60 to 130. High nines, like we had another car on a 20-inch, with a 900 package, 20-inch Nitto 555Rs on the draggy, go 990 on the street.
950.
No, went 9
you're
on the street.
About a stock motor car.
Yes.
The stock motor car.
Yes.
That thing had 120,000 miles on it.
Yep.
The guy's in the passenger seat with me.
Yep.
He's like
350 pounds.
And we stopped on the side of the road.
Dragged
it. It went 980 at 143.
Yep. On the street, on 20s.
But and at the cost of what? How much?
That's $25,000.
$25,000.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to go 980s. I mean, it's pretty consistent too. Like at the track, it would probably go like a 970.
But you would go faster in a Supra, right?
Now, yeah.
Stock motor,
This car should go like a 450, 440, 60 to 130 all day. I mean,
and this is just what, like?
It's a stock motor, but it's a pure stage 2 with a converter.
Right.
It's a KLM turbo kit.
6870.
CSF manifold. Reflex, Ecutech, and a low pressure fuel pump.
Is that CSF manifold like needed though?
No.
Does it really do anything?
Yeah, kind.
These heat soak pretty bad.
They do.
That car's pretty wicked up.
It's wicked up though.
I'd be a little afraid of a stock manifold like possibly blowing apart.
It's a little what?
Wicked up.
What's that mean?
She's spicy.
She's spicy girl.
Oh,
when
she's
it comes
spicy.
to the boost.
Wicked up.
Wicked up.
Where did that come from? Is that like a college thing or something?
I don't know. He says it all the
You think
time.
I went to college?
I don't know. It's like one of those things
He says it all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's she's spicy, you know. But he wanted it, so like
it's like 43 song. I just don't think. I do not think that a stock manifold is going to take 43 pounds.
No.
Like this is identical to our shop manager's
Marshall's
old car.
He had that fracture
It's
blue
a
one.
little bit more refined now.
I'm sure
because I learned.
You've seen that car, I'm sure.
I learned on Marshall's.
It had the missing headlight. Same setup as that car.
It was
identical. That was the
refraction
first.
blue.
That was the first one we ever did.
Every part.
I know the
is
color. I don't
exact
think I've
same.
seen this car. I always see Visconti's car. But
Yeah. So
it went
a 450.
I went 940 in the car at 151 with a piss poor 60 foot.
Yeah, like the car would not leave. Every time he would start,
John was like learn. It was nothing against anybody. John was just learning.
every time he would go to take off in second, it would downshift to first.
Yeah.
Like the second
it
gear
was
leave.
doing weird
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
But it went 940, 151.
Just like that.
And it was identical.
Yeah, and on the street, I think we dragged it at 6130. It was like a 450. So he would smack a 900 car around for sure.
Yep.
You know, there's no doubt these things are sick. They're stout.
I got to say, I didn't like them that much when I first started doing them. I finished Marshall's car and I got to drive it for a week. I didn't want to give it back.
Yeah,
I
They're
tried.
fun.
I
They're
tried.
fun.
I said,
Yeah.
dude, how much
They
do
make
you
you
want
giggle
on
when
top
they're-
of
when
me
they're-
giving you the Mustang?
when they're like this,
Yeah.
they're
a blast.
They're a blast.
They're
Like I drove it, I'm like, man, this thing is awesome.
and this is what, like 900,
Nine-
It made
949.
949. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good.
yeah. It made like 780 torque, so
Yeah.
it kept it, you know. But the guy that tunes it, Sam, he's really good. I mean, he's tuning the M340 that we have outside. It's a basic setup. I mean, like it has
just a big boost turbo kit and a low pressure fuel pump.
and
That's
port
it?
and
Yeah,
port. It has
64, 66.
it has port injection
Oh,
on it too.
sorry. Yeah, port injection.
It's got a low side port injection and a big boost 64 on it. It made 740 wheel on ethanol.
all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive, yeah.
So what are those compared to a Supra, right? I mean, it's you guys are GTR guys, but I'm sure you guys would have some type of idea, right?
It's a Super. It's the same motor. Same
So if you're at the
trans.
track, same setup, identical. If you have a 340 next to a Supra, obviously.
Well, I think
this is,
the
Because of the
M340 is
weight.
heavier, right?
that's what I'm saying. But if let's say if there was a way to
The same
reduce
weight?
yeah.
That car should go. I feel like that car will go 9s, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh no, Keith's car. We did a big boost kit on
did.
Keith's car.
I forgot about that car.
Really, the only change was Keith got a CSF manifold on his.
Same setup.
He would stop on the way home.
And a trans. It did get a trans because it slips
he would
in
stop
six.
on the way home.
Like these do, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same.
It got a trans with a converter. Same setup as the M340. It went 960 on the
970?
street.
at like
But it
mid
should
140s.
it should be a little bit. It's all-wheel drive, right?
Yes.
So I mean,
but we're talking on the street.
But he would
Yeah.
stop. He would stop on his way home from Glen Burnie. Just stop and drag you the car,
Yeah, and make a hit.
and it would go
On the bare asphalt.
970, 960 ish at 143, 144. Yeah,
The
I like
the
those,
M340 all-wheel drive is.
yeah. I'm
is-
getting my
is-
wife one.
Yeah,
She's like begging me for one.
Yeah, they're fun cars too. I like the all-wheel drive, obviously, but
Yeah.
I had a G80 for a while, and it was like when they first came out.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of like people didn't know much about them.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, and I just had like basic stuff done to it.
Right.
Port on the stock manifold, stock turbos. I think it had. That was in a tune, flex
Yeah.
fuel, and an intakes, stock downpipe, stock exhaust, stock low side, and it went 980 or 9s
It was
against
against James.
against
actually.
James's Trackhawk.
Him
It
and
went
James raced,
Yeah.
and he went 980 against James
on the street.
James won.
James won because
100%.
that Trackhawk's fast, but
Yeah.
it went 980 on the street, and it was on street tires. It was a basic setup. So we're getting ready to do a single top mount on a GTR,
KLM
a
on a
GTR
G80.
customer's car. He has a G80 that's out there. We're gonna do a single and try to do like, I don't know, like
I wish I would have had
900.
his car here for you. His is wild looking.
He has a GTR as well. It makes 2000 or 19 and some change.
Pretty casual.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
casual.
But it's painted
Front of
like
the mill
it's
here.
painted that new dark horse color, the
The
Mustang,
2024
2024 Mustang dark horse.
I seen one,
like,
but it was wrapped.
It flops real
flops
bad,
crazy.
like crazy.
I'll show you, photos after.
Yeah, it's we had the whole car painted that color. So
Wow.
Actually, all these cars in here, Colby Allen, Northeast Body Shop.
Yeah,
he painted
he paints
this
all of them.
Delmonico red.
This is a Hellcat color.
Hellcat color.
Yeah, it's a Hellcat color. Yeah,
Full respray on this for Super Silver.
Yep.
He just wanted it cleaned up and looking good. And then this is Arabian Gray off the Mercedes Benz.
Yeah,
That's a paint job.
paint.
Yep,
that's
that's
a paint
paint.
I thought
job.
that was a wrap, dude.
No.
Full. He spent $38,000 on forged carbon stuff.
It has
is a real roof that was cut
Yeah,
out
it
of
has
the car.
a true carbon
It's
roof, forged carbon roof.
forged carbon seats.
It's not just like a stick on. It's real.
Bro's bored. You just want to spend some money.
He had a one-of-one Mercedes Benz in the country, painted Arabian Gray.
He waited
And
like
he
2 years
loved
for it.
And
He ordered
this
it.
is like a $220,000 Mercedes.
Yeah, like a
And
four-door.
he shows up to the shop and he drops his car off. It was liquid wrapped. It looked terrible.
It was horrible.
Laguna Seca blue off of like the
M3.
E46 M3.
Yeah.
It was.
It
was
does
terrible
not look
looking.
good on a GTR.
The body kit fit like shit, and we were just packing them up about it.
Yeah, I
and
don't
he
think that
still
was
had
the
all the
first
purple stuff on it, so it looked terrible.
It looked horrible.
And we just picked on him, and then he's like looking at the Benz, looking at the car, and he was like, painted Arabian Gray. And we were like, what? And he was like, oh, and by the way, this all used to be Illusion purple, a darker purple.
Yeah.
He paid us to pull a whole fucking car apart.
Pull the motor out and take it apart.
Take the motor
powder
out, take
coat
the roll
engine.
cage
Yeah.
out, the wheels off,
The powder coat everything.
re-powder coat everything Illusion Violet.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
I
though.
mean,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah. It's
Like that shit makes me want to buy a G, but it's like to get something like that is insane.
Yeah,
I don't
he's-
know how much money he's fucking
in the car and everything. He's probably got 250.
250. I was gonna say 250. Yeah.
All day.
It's gotta
All
be.
day.
He got new glass all the way around. Like, he went crazy. But it's first time out. It literally rolled off the dyno. It was Chris Miller's SummerSlam. We took it there. It won Best in Show.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why.
Like,
Looks great.
It looks crazy.
Yeah.
So how do I asked Merrick this? Do you think there'll be a time when the B58 will be able to compete with?
I mean, they're already
That's
going
creeping.
They're already
Yeah.
going sevens, and they ain't been.
100%.
They've not been out that long.
Right.
2019, right?
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it took longer for a GTR to go sevens. I'd have to look, but like 4 years.
They also have suspension and 60 foot on their side.
Yeah, and it
which is
has
awesome.
a converter trans. You know what
Well,
I
the
mean?
transmission's a big part of that.
Oh
too.
yeah, that transmission is sick. Like
Yeah.
it's a very good trans. It's a converter trans, not a DCT.
Chris Miller out there killing it
Yeah.
with the pure trans.
We've never had one issue out of his transmission.
Mike Body's car. So for World Cup finals and like Yellow Bullet, we open our shop up to any racer.
Yeah,
Free of charge. We don't care if you call us 3 o'clock in the morning. I will drive my ass 800 feet here, open the shop for you, and let you fix your car.
Yeah.
And we've done that for Yellow Bullet. We came here, we brought our welder here, and he welded and got somebody together for Yellow Bullet, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. I wasn't up. I was in bed. But he got
Matt
up.
from Insomnia and Mike Body,
Yeah.
they broke the trans doing a wheelie. Chris Miller drove us a trans from New York.
They
We
brought the
opened our
car up.
shop
When
up
was
to
this?
us, and we put a trans.
This was World this
Cup
was
2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody
They
took
had
us
an
up on
issue
the offer
too.
this year.
No, they World Cup 2 years ago. They broke the trans because he wheelied, not because of anything else.
Oh, who
Yeah.
really?
yeah, Mike.
It
Mike,
like went on the bumper.
Yeah, wheelied and then it came
They
down.
did, it was one of them Supras. I don't
The
know
black
who it was.
one. It was the one of the.
Oh, the black one. Yeah, went
He was, like,
completely
straight up
on
in
the
the
bumper.
air.
Yeah. Well, they broke the trans. He called me. They trailered it up here. Chris brought a trans from New York. They put it in that night. Went back. And
We left when it was daylight.
yeah, it was
Never
daylight
charged
outside.
$1.
Yeah, no.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah. So
love, man.
We do. We do it every year.
We get it. We race, and when we need help, we need help. Like, we ain't afraid to ask for help, and it's just something that we can offer. And I love racing, so I'll do anything I can to help a racer in need.
Yeah.
If it requires me not getting sleep, it is what it is.
So I feel like I feel like John's just chilling over there.
He's our male model. That's really
he's
the biggest.
okay.
He models all the parts.
He's the best looking of us.
Before the comments come in like, yo, why's bro on the end just sitting there? Because that's going to happen.
Yeah,
we're building him a killer too.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I don't know how fast the stock crank record is, but I'd kind of like to chase it in his car. He's got a...
I think it's going to be hard because I think Caesar had a stock crank in his car for a while.
Really?
Yeah. I think his car went like, I want to say it went like a 760. I'm sure, I don't know if he'll be there with Billy when you go.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, you can ask him. I'm sure he'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know, but I'm almost positive like when he was with Schweitzer, that motor had a stock crank in it and was being pushed well beyond what it should have been.
Right.
So, I mean, people underestimate these stock cranks.
Yeah.
You know, they either break or they don't, you know, but I'm pretty sure he went deep into the sevens, mid sevens with a stock crank. I'm almost positive. You have to, I have to verify it, but
he's our trans guy.
Yeah, he does.
He's our transmission guy. Yeah.
This guy.
So
this guy, bro.
So we suckered him in. He came up and he started like hanging out with us. He had already had a GTR, and you know,
I met Jonathan at my dad's house.
Yeah, I bought some full bolt-on parts from him one day.
Yeah.
Came down there from another guy that got a build from him and
just
went
came
down
in
to
the
his
early
house.
days.
Yeah, like you were living out here, right?
Yeah, living out
all
here.
the way out here. I used to live like an hour where my dad's house is an hour away, a little over an hour. And yeah, he drove all the way down just to pick up like some full bolt-on parts like intakes and flex fuel and stuff like that.
And get a street tune from
And
you.
street tune, yeah. That was the first time that I met him.
And then you said get the new shop.
And then I didn't talk to you or know you. Like I didn't know him for nothing. Like he disappeared, and then I got the new shop. And I think you just like came by because
you texted me and you're like,
yeah.
is this a nice area?
Yeah,
was
I texted him. Yeah, that's right.
It's not a bad area. It's 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah. Like I
And then he got
texted
the shop
him. Yeah.
and just hung out and never left.
he bought a car off of Tony.
I had a roller. That I got, and
This is where I started sweet talking him.
Yeah.
Started off, we were just going to do a 750X on the car.
it turned into
And then
a full
it
build.
was like, let's do a 1050X.
Stock
then we got
motor.
these turbos sent to us, and it turned into, we took the motor out of this car because he was stepping up the big boy stuff.
Yep.
He took his motor. We put a 1400 kit on it. Now my man out here rolling around with 1400 horsepower. And now he jumped to an EBA body. His best friend.
EBA is 2017 and up.
That's the one I like.
17.
Yeah.
Like this body.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
is a 10, but obviously this
Yeah.
is like
Marshall's
Marshall's
the bumpers that change.
Yeah.
It's the body and the interior.
It's a lot
like
more
the whole
aggressive.
Change, the whole car changes.
the whole dash is different. Yeah.
The interior, exterior, all different.
Yeah.
So
Tail end,
what
all
years
different.
are these?
17 right there.
17.
And then this is a 13.
This is
This is
the
a 13.
DBA.
This is a 14. That's a 10. That's
That's
a
a
9. That's a 13, and that's a 15.
So what's the difference in terms of like outside of the bumpers? Like,
So if you turn behind you, that's a CBA.
Yeah, no
Notice
no
the bumper,
DRLs in the bumper.
No DRLs, and it's like a little like kind of.
See there's no DRLs. It's a clean, smooth bumper.
This one is the DBA,
Yeah, and it has the DRLs.
and it has DRLs in it.
Yep.
oh, that has
And
like
then
the
Marshall's is way more aggressive, and
it looks
that's
more like
called
a
EBA.
Lexus a little bit. in the
Yeah,
front.
Yeah.
they made it really aggressive, like wider towards the bottom.
Right.
So he jumped to the EBA body. Our fabricator, who's not here right now, he's actually deployed, protecting us, serving his country. My boy Scotty. He was actually going to fly in and take leave and
just
try
to get
and
on the
here.
podcast. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
That would've been sick.
He does all of our fabrication. Like you see how we have like the alpha locks on all the cars.
Yeah.
Like he welds and does all the
Intercooler pipes.
the intercooler piping for it and all that.
He
So,
has a 1600 horsepower GTR.
Yeah. It
It looks
And-
better than like V bands.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I can show you. It literally, you literally just grab it, turn it, and it comes right off.
And I can't even ask if it holds some shit. It's already on the fucking
it
car.
holds some shit.
Yeah. I mean, it'll hold 100. They use them on diesels.
Really?
Yeah, they use them on diesels.
So why hasn't this been like a thing for?
Because they're really expensive.
Yeah,
per
they're
lot.
like 110 per one.
What do they call them clamps?
They're called alpha locks.
Alpha locks.
Yeah, they're made in Australia.
Wow.
But they work really well. So what happens is they don't, like a vibrant clamp, the O-rings get wore out and the piping just becomes like floppy.
You know how you have to slide that collar on and then put the latch on?
Right.
That has like a
stick
spring.
the pipe up, put it on,
lock
twist
it, and it has locks.
You want to take it off, it's got like a little spring in it. You push in, twist,
and pull off.
It's off.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it holds the stability. It doesn't wear out. So even like
you've seen the vibrant clamps where you can move it all around, right?
Yeah.
You can't move the whole pipe and do whatever you want with it.
You can't move that around. The only movement it has is it goes this way.
Right.
And the more it does, the more it seals. So when the boost hits and it spreads, it literally spreads against the O-ring and it just holds more pressure. That's why diesels use them, because you're not going to break them.
Yeah, because the compression is
insane
on the diesel.
Yeah, well, they run like 100 pounds of boost on them things. So like when as it pushes apart more, it seals it even more.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't like them for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because they just haven't tested them or used them. But we literally, like every single car with big power, except for the titanium,
just hidden. Honestly, no. Remember, he has
it down bottom,
intercooler.
but the upper pipes are titanium. So like
they didn't have the titanium ferrules out yet when we did this car.
Yeah, you got to weld the ferrules onto the alpha locks. They have them now, but they didn't have them then, so we couldn't put them up top. But
I've never seen this.
Yeah, the alpha locks. Yeah, they're sick.
I saw it. I was like, wait, is that a
yeah, I'd get up and show you, but yeah.
So the white car did the EBA body kit.
Yep.
Our boy. He was feeling a little left out with his DBA, so he went and bought an EBA
for my wife.
For his wife.
It's always a competition.
So he had the 14. Oh yeah, they go back and forth. Scotty's got a billet crank. He's got a stock crank. So he had to one up Scotty and go get Motech on.
Yeah, because Scott's still on IQ-Tech. But it's the same thing in the group chat of like the customers that go to Texas. It's like they have to one up each other. And
Tom one upped him. Tony was the first one with fender exits. Tom was like, "What size are Tony's fender exits?" One day to me, and I'm like 3.5, and he was like, "Cool,
I want 4 inch.
I want 4 inch."
I'm like, I don't think they're gonna fit.
That's not possible, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
he's like, I don't care if it drags, if it scrapes. Let's try it.
I want the 1/2 inch on Tony.
I'm like, dude, you are so.
Oh my god,
like it's so bad. A dick. Some of my customers they're just crazy. They're wild. But it's a good time in Texas. Like we have a really
I'm excited to go this year.
It's a really good time.
You're gonna like it.
Yeah, like
it's in Dallas, right? So it's new this year. That it's not
the baddest of the baddest. Not just GTRs and Supers, like everything. The baddest of the baddest cars come there. Like it's really cool.
And you see a lot of street racing there, or is it unknown yet because it's Dallas?
I don't know about Dallas, but Dallas is in the middle. Where we're at is in the middle of nowhere. So the street racing might be even, if they have the roads for it, might be even better, because Houston just got so like.
Oh, Texas is ridiculous.
Yeah, Houston just got so like.
Everywhere you drive is just
cops.
concrete.
And well, the cops in Houston just got so bad.
I heard
because they catch wind of it, whatever. But like now that it's in Dallas, who knows? Because it's literally in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So Ennis is like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, the street racing stuff might get hot again out there. To who knows? It might. We'll see. But as far as the event, the Motorplex or whatever I think is like twice the size of Houston Raceway. Really? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's huge. Huge. So I'm excited to be at a new track. The Houston racetrack was cool. Like you come under it. It's something that you missed for sure. Cause like when you're coming up to the staging lanes, you like come under
nighttime was gangster. Sick. You felt like the king of the world.
Yeah.
When you came under.
You came under there, and when you would come out, thousands of people and you just see cameras like going. It's sick. It's so crazy. Like it come out of the staging lanes and go under that thing and come out, and it'd just be. You'd be like, oh man, this is the real thing. Like there's a lot of people watching right now, and like the pressure is like serious. But that's my thing with the track. Like that's what I love. The
pressure.
Oh yeah, it's great.
You work well under pressure. Okay.
Yeah, at the track.
Yeah,
the street racing stuff is. Yeah.
No. I'm the one that don't crack on the street. The street racing
stuff is just
he's got a lot more to lose than me. Yeah. Like he's got the fire department. Like. You know,
I haven't done it in a long time.
I can't get in trouble
so.
at work. I get pulled over for street racing. What's he going to do? Stop.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean?
If he loses his license, he can walk.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't need my license. I live 800 feet away. I ride to Grom back and forth to work every day
in the summer. Yeah, but like, yeah, I mean, the street racing stuff is sketchy, but for some cars like Los or whatever, like I'll step out for them for sure.
I'm excited. I want to be there for that. I have never been to
it would be on 70. I don't know if you ever looked or seen. No.
I heard about it from.
If you look it up on Google, if you zoom in,
House of Hook, baby,
you'll see it looks like a racetrack.
Oh yeah, you can see it from Google.
If you get on Google Maps and look at 70 and zoom in, it looks like a racetrack, legit.
This is where the street racing happens.
Yeah, it's so prepped.
It's the biggest spot in Maryland.
Oh yeah. Like,
is this a known thing? Because then I'm gonna have to take that out.
It's
a known thing.
It's a known thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't here's how
we don't ever say locations.
It's known. Like it doesn't matter.
No, it's known. It's on shirts now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's on Los's shirt.
It's set up to the point where like it's a park and ride. And then it goes on. It dead ends at a park ride, and then it goes, and then it goes on to 70. So the cops have to come around the park and ride and come up.
And it's city jurisdiction.
Baltimore City. So like when we pull up, there's so many cars behind us. The cops like would literally have to get out of the car, and they've done it.
You think you guys got a lot of cars in New York?
Thousands.
70.
70
shut the fuck down.
Shut down. And the cops will be back there. You can see them. You'll see them come down this way. They'll come past this way. And they'll still be racing. They don't care. And like literally, the helicopter will be out. Yeah. They do not care.
So they tried stopping us. The finish line was the big 70 banner.
Yep.
And it was a sign that said you were on 70, and that was the finish line. At first, they started putting cameras up.
Yeah.
And people were climbing the pole, wiping the cameras down right before the race.
Yep.
So then they took the whole fucking overhead sign out. They thought that was going to stop us. Then the road got terrible. Somebody blew a wheel out one night racing. Tires.
Yeah.
So we all formed up in our group chat. I'm not joking about this. He was the main one to do it.
Oh my
we
God.
all collectively put in PayPal and sent money to somebody. They got up $1,500. We shut the road down with tow trucks
and patched
every hole in the road with asphalt,
with the cold asphalt patch.
Torched it, stamped it. State trooper rolled up and he was like, "We know why you're doing this. Leave."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Yeah, we're almost done.
Yeah.
Like, give us 10 more minutes."
10 more minutes.
And the dude just shook his head and drove off.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, we take care of 70.
So it's a known thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's definitely known. Yeah, they put construction cones out and everything.
They had construction cones out, tow trucks stopping the road
to tamp
while
these
they're
holes.
tamping the road down. They rented a tamper from Home Depot. We don't fuck around out here.
To tamp the road because there was serious potholes out there, and we just whole bags of that cold asphalt, throw them in there, and just start tamping and torching it. Yep, to fill the road up. Yeah, because the road is it is a very good road to.
You will walk out of your shoes on 70.
I've seen people wheelie on that road. Oh
really?
Yeah, oh yeah, hang the wheels on that road.
Yeah, I got to see that, man.
Yeah,
that's one.
70 is legit.
Fucking Dell racing Peppa literally carried the wheels past me.
Yeah,
I can't.
Didn't he?
Now he's okay with me telling the 60 foot.
Okay.
I have confirmed that. So the tuner is a very good friend of mine. That car went a 122 60 foot on the 70.
Street.
Which car?
On the street.
Del.
That ZL1.
Was it the white ZL1? Yeah.
Right, the white one.
The white one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that,
the white ZL1.
that car is a problem for the first 8th mile.
Oh yeah.
That car is sorted.
Yep.
Peppa, regardless if Peppa would have hooked, he was going to have to run him down.
Yeah.
You know what happened there?
That wasn't an easy
Peppa
night.
spun, I think. Didn't
Yeah, he came out of the prep. When he came out of the prep,
lost control a little bit.
A radio has to be struck instantaneously. They brought the power in too late, and when that thing came into full power, it was completely out of the prep.
Yeah.
And it loaded in another 30 pounds of boost, and it just Good thing he saved it, though. He did some driving.
Yeah. He's a great driver.
Yeah, he is. He's a good man.
These cars ain't nothing for what's...
No, I've seen some stuff he's put himself into, like spinning,
recovered it.
I'm like, dude, you got some balls, son. Like
He
that ain't
definitely
nothing to
drives the
mess
shit out
with.
that
Yeah,
car.
he drives the shit out of that car.
I've driven that thing. It ain't
is-
no joke.
No, it's sketchy.
Recently?
When it made 1,000.
The big boost kit he
Yeah,
had?
it was like 1,100 and something on our dyno.
Because we were testing the air
And John
water.
wanted another drag he hit in it.
Yeah.
And I left from a light. I was like, okay. I get in the third. I'm like, this motherfucker.
He went like this, but he's actually grabbing the little paddle.
And I was
thing.
like, it's saying.
wait, what?
I don't do the paddles, man.
He does a little shifter thing.
I like,
Like,
Nah, I like the paddles.
Nah, bro, I like rowdy. I want one
That
hand on
scares
the
me
wheel.
because sometimes like,
you accidentally hit it forward.
Yeah, dude. I
Yeah,
don't-
I've done that.
oh no,
I've done that. I
That's
did that
sketchy.
shit in Marshall's car.
That's why I don't even touch that.
Yeah.
No,
Paddle,
I
you
can't do the
can't fuck-
paddles,
yeah.
man.
Can't mess it
Fuck
up.
that. I pull that thing back. I feel like I'm in a stick car again. I love driving. If it ain't trying to kill me, I don't want it.
So what's next for you guys? Like, obviously
Texas.
your goals, Texas.
Yeah.
Any other events we're gonna see you at this year? Any other street races? Obviously, because
Chris
you guys
Miller
called-
stuff.
Yeah, the SummerSlam stuff. I think he's doing it in North
If
Carolina.
one
now.
stock grabs his balls,
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to lock in, we can do it. I mean, if Los wants to lock
Baby
in, but
nuts.
that stuff's over here. You know,
Right,
We
right.
try to race cars over there, but if Kaiju wants to race this car, he can.
Yeah,
for the King of New York,
Yeah. Well, he's not. I don't think he's New York. He's
Jersey.
He's Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah.
King of Jersey.
But whoever's king of New York, I guess it's no Hezi or right
with
now
the GTR,
With the
probably.
GTR. I
maybe
can't do
Mar,
that.
Mar,
Who? Hezi.
F80 Mar.
F80 Mar.
Yeah, he has the GTR. Actually, it's a little. I don't know if it's the
Is
same color,
his is gray.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
one
that
they
gray
have.
one that they rock.
It was actually in the background
Yeah,
of the episode. Yeah.
We'll do
Yeah. I don't know if he want. He texts
I don't
me all the
think-
time. He
Yeah, I
doesn't
don't
want that.
think
He doesn't want
wants
that
them
smoke.
problems,
He
but-
said he texted me all the time.
Yeah, he don't want
Because that was the one he said he had for Dan Rue.
yes.
Yeah, that
But,
makes sense.
Yeah,
But
that
Dan
car-
Rue's car is pretty fast, no?
It is. It makes like 16, 1700 Motech.
I feel like everyone gives me different numbers though.
Dan
No.
Rue's car,
Like
16,
is that
1700.
guaranteed? What you guys
yeah.
think
It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should
I don't
be.
You guys
remember
feel that
the
way,
turbo
though?
kit dead nuts, but honestly,
1300X
it
car.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, 16 to 17.
Yeah, we just
Period.
know what they're gonna do, and
So
I'm
that car doesn't make 2,000 horsepower on like full.
No,
No.
1300X is making
not
it.
a chance.
1750
It's
tops.
a 760.
And that's being
it's
leaned
a
on.
760 car
Oh, yeah.
on a tire at best.
760
On like a
horsepower.
15. If he puts a 15
Yeah,
on it,
760,
760s.
770, 100%.
Yeah,
What do you think his 60 to 130 is?
twos,
He's probably in
high
twos.
twos,
100%.
High twos?
Yep.
280s. Yeah,
We
So-
have a 1300X guy. He's
Yeah.
called the Boogeyman in South Carolina. North Carolina. He's called the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
That car went a 277 60 to 130
On 18s.
On 18s.
on the
He
street.
flew up here, picked me up in his plane,
Yeah, he's got a plane.
flew me back down to his house. I fixed his car. We went out, logged it. It went a 277 60 to 130 on 18s. He flew me back home in time for dinner.
Yeah,
All same day.
these customers are
Flew you
crazy,
out, huh?
bro.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
In his
but the stock,
private plane.
but the stock motor V10s are doing it too. They're doing high twos on a stock motor.
Yeah, I wish somebody would have 60
What, like a-
130
like a
their
R8?
R8.
Yeah, like the
Huracan.
shop R8, we made 1650 with it, 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. That car was going twos all day, 60 130,
How much horsepower?
1650.
And how much? So equivalent to like price wise with the GTRs and the similar?
It's similar, but it's on a stock motor. Like they're not like that's not a
Unopened.
built motor, unopened. Those motors are strong.
Yeah.
Like 1650,
It
nothing.
didn't even sound like it.
No, like,
Like
it
when
doesn't
it laid
even
it
on the
down
on the dyno.
I'm like, oh, okay. And then
It's
I
like-
stood up and I'm like, oh,
it like
okay.
huffed a 1650. Seriously,
twin turbo.
yeah, twin turbo, 73 millimeter turbos, which on a V10, not
That's my dream car.
yeah.
Dude,
that's my
those
next car,
cars
I'm
in the
telling you.
next
That
coming
car-
years,
I'm telling y'all,
that
that's my
car,
next car.
that car drove like stock.
Yep. You'd never know.
You would never know that it makes that kind of power.
So you guys built this?
yes,
So you guys have a kit for this?
We use Boost Logic.
Boost Logic,
Boost
turbo
Logic.
kit.
We use
Boost
Boost
Logic is
Logic.
expensive though, no?
It is, but they make the best kits.
They do.
Man. Their
The fit
fitment
and
is
finish
perfect.
is unbelievable.
All
The
type-
1300X is
all-
the best.
yeah.
If you want any
And GTR
GTR,
will-
and anybody's on the line, just step up to a 1300X.
There's about 5 cars in here that have 1300X kits on them.
Yep.
legit.
And with the R8, it's about the same price for a Boost Logic kit on the R8.
Yeah, versus everybody else. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the Boost Logic. You're talking about a V10 car or GTR?
V10.
V10 car. The Boost Logic kit's like 26 grand. the turbo kit.
26, and then that's not even including the install, right?
No.
Right.
Yeah, that's the turbo kit. I mean, but the transmission like is crazy expensive compared to these.
Do you have to build the transmission?
Oh yeah.
You can get away with like second gear and a clutch for roll racing, but for dig racing, you got to. I had a fully built trans 1 through 7, 10 plate clutch, like the whole 9. Shep offered.
Yeah.
That transmission is $67,000.
What?
Yes.
Sorry, Frankie. My boy Frankie just got one.
67,000.
Pockets.
Yes.
Pockets got to be deep for
you
that one.
can buy a fucking Hellcat or whatever, or you buy a GTR for that shit. You know what I mean? It's insane. But like,
but you want to only break that. You don't want to break it.
If you break that trans,
so you might as well just
a used one, $25,000 for a used good core, $25,000. So breaking it is like spend $25,000 and you gotta spend 60 something to build it.
Yeah,
that's $80-some thousand just to drive the car again.
Right.
So
we
like
help develop the Motech for it, not
but
the Motech itself, the wiring
for the fuel pump, because it like T1 has the
they wanted
ID
to make
controller.
a plug and play Motech. I had to go to like wiring school and stuff.
Yeah,
there's 3.5 miles of wire in the Motech on his R8 when we did it.
Yeah,
we added it all up at the end.
It's pretty extensive.
Our boy Ken that did most of the wiring and taught me everything. He helped work directly with Tony Palo to try and integrate a plug and play kit, because there's nothing out there
at the time.
When you did a Motech, and there's 2 Motechs on those cars.
Yeah,
because
on the R8.
So that motor,
they think they're 2 RS3 motors. They have no idea that they're attached to each other. So there's a master ECU
and a slave
ECU.
They have
the
no
master
idea.
Tells the slave what to do.
It just mimics it.
And they just constantly talk back and forth.
Right.
They literally have no clue that they're attached.
I think I mentioned that on 1Stock's episode with the Gaza engine.
It literally, that's what it is. It's 2 of them put together. So yeah, like that. We also helped T1 with the dual brushless. So like you have a single brushless with the T1 controller, and it does like 2,000 horsepower. And then the Audi controller has the capability to control another one of those brushless pumps, but it's only good for 800.
Okay.
And so we wired the factory fuel pump controller to the second pump in my car. So I had 2,800 worth of fuel. Yeah. And then we gave Tony Palo basically the which wires so he could make an actual plug and play kit. Yeah. Because in my car we were just cutting and making our own like harnesses for it. But yeah, it worked, and I had 2 I had 2 brushless pumps in the car that worked simultaneously together and I had plenty of fuel. The car only made 1,650, but my plan was to build the motor, but then I was just too busy with GTR stuff, and I was like, I just sold the car to another GTR customer of mine.
He got hit kind of hard building that car too, because you probably spent $10,000 in wiring tooling.
Yeah. I
have a set of crimpers over there to make the connectors to Motech,
and you need special.
It's $750 for it, and the pins are $1.40 a pin.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Probably $150.
And to flash the transmission and stuff like that, you need a special tool, and that thing's like $4,000 just for the tool.
Oh, so that shit is like you might as well Lambo. It's the same shit, right?
Yeah, same shit. So like in order to flash the transmission, once you build it, like to get like an AMS flash or something like that, you have to have this CMD tool. That's what it's called, CMD. And it's like $3,000 or $4,000. So like if you're just a normal guy, it's not like you can buy an Ecutech like for your Supra, whatever. You get a license and you flash it and that's it. No, you need that tool or you can't flash a trans, period. Doesn't matter. They have some sort of other thing that plugs into the OBD2 port to flash the trans. I don't know how well that stuff works. Everyone uses AMS trans files because they work. Like they are the best files out there for the V10 cars. Everyone uses them. Tony Palo uses them. Everyone. So, but you need special tools just to have the car turboed. You know what I mean? It's a crazy to me personally more expensive than this, just because trans cost more. The turbo kit is like 10 to 12,000 more. It's still a stock motor. The fuel system's like 7-8 grand. The Motech, you need 2 of them. It's just way more expensive than these. Right. So whoever you said, Frankie or whoever bought one that's a turbo in it, I mean, he's going to spend some coin to do it right. I mean, there's some
well, the Sheepy who's doing kits, right?
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that. So it's just
he said stay away.
Yeah, I mean, he you
guys know him? Like
we have cars that come, V10 cars. There's one here now.
It
has a blown clutch in it. Supposedly it's a brand new clutch.
It's got more different color AN lines. You think the fucking engine bay's a Christmas tree. Yeah,
it's
they
pretty
just
bad.
picked up whatever color AN lines they wanted and just started
the ice
plumbing
tank
shit.
In the front, you can just pick it up out of there. It's not bolted down, like it's just moving around. The wiring is all butt connected together. It is really bad. I don't like to talk bad about people, but it's a very bad setup. I don't know how old it is. Maybe it's old. I don't think it is, because the customer, he's like, oh, I just got this car and it blew the clutch out of the trans, So, but you just have to be.
He's just giving me this look right now.
You just have to be careful, because you have to be careful because
I can't even mimic the look you're doing, because it's just like
you have to be careful because the V10.
Well, I haven't seen that kind of energy this whole podcast. He's just like
the V10 stuff can get
not even what the one stock
He took
shit
the car. Honestly, it's not Sheepy's fault why the trans failed. So he took it to some idiots in Pennsylvania, and they did a trans fluid service on it. Well, there is a very specific way to change the trans fluid on these cars.
It's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do that shit right. He drove out of there. 2 hours later, he's on the side of the road with a broken $40,000 transmission leaking.
I mean, just pouring
on
out
the side of the
What?
fucking road.
Yeah. You can blow the motor up if you don't even change the oil properly. It's got 7 drain plugs on it.
These
7
GTRs. These ain't Hondas.
Nope.
Like, you fuck up on a Lambo, you costing somebody a lot of money,
and
most of these shops ain't going to stand behind it.
The long block, just a stock one, is crazy. It's like 40 grand, just for a stock used long block.
Yeah.
It's not McLaren territory where it's $100,000 for a motor, but it's bad. Like,
damn,
you got to have some coin to be doing V10 stuff. That's just my personal opinion.
Right.
You got to have. Like Bobby's build, he's probably got, it's a stock motor car. He's probably going to have 160, 170 grand in it.
Wild.
And it still has a stock motor in it.
Yeah.
But it does drive a lot better than these. Like built trans, not jerky, no sound, smooth.
That's probably like a super transmission.
Better.
No? Better?
Yes.
Oh, right. I would assume so.
Oh, yeah.
You
don't even feel it.
It's so smooth.
You hear it?
Like, you
I
don't
drove
feel it.
his, and I felt like it was like an amplified version of what I drive.
Now put turbos on it and make 1600.
Yeah.
And the power, you don't even feel like you're going that fast. I raced Scott's car that makes 1600
Yeah.
from a roll, and I drug him, and I make the same power, 1600. Drug him. It was like 3-4 car lengths.
Wow.
Bad.
And you don't feel it in the car. Scotty's car, terrifying.
It sounds like
that R8. You can take a nap.
Yeah. Except for her.
Oh no, you still feel it. You don't get me wrong. You still feel it, but it is so.
It doesn't feel
and
rowdy.
Smooth. It's not rowdy.
I love that. I love that car.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
It's
the next one.
No,
it's the next
like
one.
You can
rowdy.
just do like turbos on it, make 800, and keep a stock trans.
Yeah,
and
we did one.
And it'll probably live forever.
Yeah. That's
Honestly.
Didn't even change the injectors.
Nope. He did.
He just wanted a turbo kit.
Yeah, he did DS1 tuning, a turbo kit, and that's it.
The car wasn't even fast.
And the car made 800 horsepower. I mean, it looked fast in the video.
It did look fast as shit.
We
sounded
videoed
fast as shit,
inside the
but at
like,
only 60 to 130, like what a really spicy full bolt on GTR would have.
Yeah.
He was a cars and coffee guy.
But it
He
sounds
legit
good.
wanted the looks and the noise.
Yeah,
and
it sounds
that's
good.
what he got, and
That's
he
it.
was
That
really
sounds
happy.
But like on ethanol, and you can make 1,000 stock trans. Like that's the max that I would take it to. Some of these guys get crazy. They'll take 1,200, make 1,200.
That thing wheel hops one time.
It's over. Like they'll make 1,200 with just a clutch. I'm like, dude, you're crazy. Like second gear is like not good in them, man. And rolling anti-lag, second gear, it's game over. Like that thing will just bye. And once it breaks, it doesn't break like a GTR trans. Like when you break a gear, I've never seen a case break in the middle. Yeah. I've seen the front case break from the torque of a like 2000 plus, but like when a gear breaks in one of these, it just shears it and that's it. Now it's a mess inside the trans, right. It has to be cleaned.
Right.
When you break one of them, it comes out of the case, like literally breaks out of the case, and the trans is trash, the whole trans.
Wow.
So like to me, it's just worth the money. If you're going to make over 1,000, do a whole gear set, do the trans right, and everything else you can just add it on later. As long as you have a fully built trans.
Right. Yeah, take turbo kit off, get trans out.
Yeah.
So you might as well do trans now.
Well, some kits you do. Some you don't, but it's a pain in the ass anyway to get the trans out with the turbo kit, because it's literally sits right on top of it. But I mean, they're just a whole different ball game when it comes to modifying costs.
Yeah.
They're not like these, you know.
Well, I'll still give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean,
one day,
like I said, 1,000 horsepower, you could probably get away with 35 grand.
That's where I'll be at.
Yeah,
I mean, 1,000
horsepower.
You're keeping your GTR.
But thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you guys again. I'm definitely going to be out here again for another. Well, I might see you before then. If I'm out here in the area, I would love to stop by and actually, check out some.
Yeah, we'll take you for a ride
They have a ton of GTRs
after Texas. I'm not building that car twice if it breaks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about ride-alongs. Just to see, see the cars.
No, you got to go for a ride-along.
No, I'm not looking for that.
No, you got to go.
We ain't racing those till after.
I don't do ride-alongs. I did one. Yeah.
You getting a ride-along.
What'd you do a ride-along in?
Was it recently? Yeah, it was a.
Oh, come on.
No, it wasn't a Mustang.
No. Look, I'm a Mustang boy.
It was a Mustang. You're right. Yeah.
End.
You got to ride in like a 1,600 horsepower GTR. You just got to feel
Absolutely not. He's getting 2,000.
No.
2,000?
All you have to feel is a 1,600 horsepower GTR, and you'll be like, this is insane.
I drove one that came in a month ago. It was like 800 horsepower.
Nah, not even.
They don't get fun till
not even the same
they're
realm.
So boring until they get past like 12, 1300.
1,600, you got to ride in one. You will be like,
the party starts at 15.
Yeah, you'll be like,
I don't like how you can feel the car like that though. It's kind of like sketchy.
No,
it gives you like an old. I mean, that's why I feel like it's like a classic kind of vibe. Still,
you'll be fine.
As opposed to like the Supra, like it's just like you don't feel shit because the steering wheel it's all smooth. This car, you feel everything. I feel like.
Yep.
Well, you're gonna be in a passenger seat, so you'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I know, but I'm saying like if you were driving
plenty of time
1,600 horsepower.
Look, I took him down 222 as our test road. It's tight. It is tight. I did a 40 to 180 with him on that road in one of our chop cars.
40 to what?
180.
Yeah, I'm not getting that car.
It's fine.
No.
Wait, 40 to 180?
You want him to get...
How fast did it get to 180?
That car 60 to 130 is like 290.
I definitely would not sit in that car.
Fine.
290?
It's fine.
This is what he does, and he scares you out of it. Like,
nah,
it's a blast.
You'll just get in the car.
Yeah.
You'll get in the car with me. We'll take a 1,600 horsepower car out.
He'll break you in,
and we'll make it hit.
How am I gonna know if it's 1,600?
Oh, you're gonna know.
You're gonna know.
How am I gonna know?
You're gonna know.
You're gonna know.
You're gonna know.
Put it on the dyno, make a rip. Hopefully, it'll be his car next time you come back.
Okay.
Yeah, this car is probably be next. Liberty Walk.
If it wasn't pouring now, I wish it wasn't.
So the owner of the Hellcat that's with James that was here, his Hellcat made 1,500 on the dyno.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was here. Yeah.
1,500, and I was like, "You want to feel real 1,500?" And I took him in this car,
which
I turned it down. It was like map 5, which is like 1,500, 1,450, and he was scared to death of the car. And the car is stable. I mean, straight. Like it spun a little bit, but not like it wasn't like all over the road. He was like, he has a Plaid too, and he tried to compare it to the takeoff from a dead stop in a Plaid versus a takeoff from a roll in this, and he's like, it's worse than my Plaid.
Nah,
my great.
You gotta feel it. Closest. Nah, man. Hell the fuck no. I'll tell you that. The most scared I've been was in my boy's Talon, and he fucking launched that shit. I'm telling you, man, that shit fucking scared the shit out of me.
She
They only made like 800 probably.
She wanted to act like a hard ass over here in his car.
In this one.
You ain't scaring me.
I had it
coming
in
back
map-
from Ocean City.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, he makes a map 7, map 8.
It was like map 5.
So next thing you know, he's
7.
sending
Oh,
us
hell no.
pictures on the way home. She's hanging her head out
She
the
was
window trying to throw up.
This car will give you a headache. Like
yeah.
from the G-forces. Like guys that
How
don't
many G's is it pulling?
over 2.
Yeah.
Over 2.
Over 2.
The
I
one
thought
Draggy
I thought it was like Billy's is doing like a 2. When you look
That-
at the Draggy, it said
That thing is not accurate.
oh shit,
That
it's not.
thing's probably
hell
well
no.
over that.
I was looking at
Yeah.
that. I'm like, fuck. He's pulling.
No, that thing is retarded.
Bro,
like-
even at 180 when he brings
Billy
that
probably
in,
doesn't drive it because it's something that'll make you pass out. Like legit. Like you got to think you're
In the passenger or driving?
driving.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because
It's
the G forces on your body is like I said. I've
1600's fun.
Yes.
It really is. It's a blast. When you start getting up into like 1900,
Yeah.
bro, it
gives
it
you
is-
tunnel vision. It's like
yeah. When I went in the second gear, my first pass, I drove. Do you know PJ? He's a New York guy.
He's-
Paul Viscano.
Paul Viscano. No, he's
No.
friends with like Elvis and John tunes his car.
I drove his
I'll
car.
probably when I get out of here, I'm
Jamo.
like, oh shit. yeah.
Jamo worked on the car. Built,
It made 1900.
What color
and
is it?
I drove it
Black.
at Texas.
all
Oh.
black.
How long was it at the shop?
Wow. I mean,
wow.
it kind of lives there.
Because there was a.
It's not that it's wrong. There's
I'm
nothing
talking about
wrong
the one
with
in,
it.
in
It
Deer
just-
Park.
Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with it, but it just stays at the shop.
Right.
Yeah, it just
I
stays.
remember
race
seeing
car.
there was
It's
a
black.
couple of black ones, but there was one that was like
Big tire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's probably it.
So I went 760 at 190.
He would drive it because PJ used to drive it, and then he just likes watching the car go down the
Yeah,
track.
he walked up to me, and I was getting out of the car, giving him his jacket back, and he was like, "Nah, man, you do your thing." And I'm like, "You're serious?" And I'm like, he's like, "Yeah, man, I just want to watch the car go."
He just
He watched it go, and he was like, "You do your thing the rest of the weekend, brother." And I'm like, "Fuck yes."
Yeah, but like
Car went 7, bro. I'm telling you, I went in the second gear. I've been in the 7s, no problem, but I've been in the 7s with like 1700 horsepower.
Mustangs.
No, GTRs. Moe's. My first 7-second pass was 1300 XR.
It went like a
either way.
798. It barely went 7.
Yeah, it barely went 7. We had to gut it to get me in
yeah,
there.
to get him in there.
PJ's car, I went in the second gear and I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
I was in the car. First gear, ain't shit. The 60 foot, I've been faster. When that thing went in the second, it was like getting kicked in the chest by a mule. And
you don't feel like the car's leaving you.
Yeah.
You get
yeah,
tunnel
dude.
vision.
You don't get that feeling
you
where like
get-
the car's
it
like
literally-
leaving you?
You
It
remember
literally is-
Biker Boys?
Yeah.
That stupid ass
How the
movie
fuck do you
with the
remember?
tunnel
Nobody ever
vision?
remembers that movie.
Biker
I love
Boys.
that movie.
Yeah, I watched the movie like
Not
30
Your Soul.
times.
Same exact tunnel
Same as
vision.
that.
Whatever
When
I
his dad,
was
when his dad
looking-
was racing.
And it goes.
Yeah.
Whatever I was looking at, my mind had to recoup. It wasn't until like mid third gear that I got my full
Vision
field of
back.
view back.
Yeah, and with this, yeah.
You don't want me getting there.
No.
No, 1600, it
you'll be
doesn't
fine.
happen.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
You'll be. There ain't
No,
waiver.
you'll
Yeah,
be
that's
fine.
crazy.
No waiver. You'll be fine.
I'd rather drive it than be sitting in the passenger side. Even then, it's like I'm never gonna
Yeah,
drive
you
that
let
kind
out
of
a bit.
1600
Yeah,
horsepower.
you'll
You
let
let
out.
out as soon as you feel it. It's different when you got someone else holding the pedal down.
yeah.
I feel like it's worse than a passenger.
It is because I do logs with him and stuff out on our.
That shit is
test
scary,
drive.
dude.
It feels weird.
But then
when
again,
you're
even
looking
driving
for your
that kind of
brake.
car, like I feel like you got to work your way up there.
You might
know?
have to take him up Route 1 because if you take him down.
No, I wouldn't take him
222
down there. I'd take you up Route 1 because it's
Yeah.
open.
It's
It's
open.
open highway, and we just make a hit.
You get out on 222 in a 1600
It's tight.
horsepower car.
Trees are on
It's-
both sides. It's tight. It's sketchy. Like
Yeah, no, I'm good.
It's not sketchy, but for you, you'd be like, oh my god, we're gonna die. Like it's sketchy. But like for us, because we go down it all the time, it's easy. They race on that road like drag race.
We walked it off.
Yeah, it's
We marked
measured.
it. It's marked
measured
to
and
the
everything.
eighth and a quarter.
Yeah, we had a cash days here. Like I don't know, a couple months
Yeah,
ago.
opened the shop up and held a cash days here.
Yeah, but like that road's a lot wider, and I feel like 1600 horsepower, but I make a hit maybe at 1,000. So you like make sure you're okay, and then we can just turn it up, and then you can feel like 14, and if you're good, we'll put it on 16.
I'd be wearing a helmet.
helmet.
I'll be looking for.
We got one. We got
We
straps
got you.
too.
We got Hans device.
I'll be wearing a whole fire.
Somebody will see us and they'll see you and everything, and to be me, it'll be like nothing, and I'm like,
Yep.
what is going on here?
My crazy ass will do that. So tell the viewers where to find you guys. All platforms.
Facebook, Instagram. That's really, I mean, that's the two platforms that
You guys are on TikTok?
we are on TikTok. Yes, we're on there. I try to post on there, but like I'm older, so like TikTok is just.
How old are you guys?
I'm 35.
33.
36.
So you guys know how old I am.
I've known him since I was 11 years old.
Yeah. So I mean, I try to post on TikTok. Honestly, I make the videos off TikTok because they're the best, like to be able to like edit and stuff.
Yeah.
But so things get posted on there. But most of the time, it's Instagram and Facebook. Like, is heavy Instagram, Facebook. Most of everyone knows us from there. So.
That's probably better for these, because TikTok. I mean, there's not too many people on TikTok that have these cars probably.
Yeah, and like a lot of our videos are like of the builds, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like the breakdown of the builds and stuff, because a lot of people on like Facebook and stuff, they want to see.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to watch.
They want to see
videos.
the builds and stuff, and we try to post like actual like the cars going
Like I
together.
went Facebook Live for Texas last year and assembled his whole motor.
And everything on live. Yeah, like we try to like just show like everything that we do and stuff because people enjoy that stuff. I feel like they
That's
do.
right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You
It's
want to
dope
see
watch.
us building like a 2,000 horsepower race car. Like,
Right.
It's cool. You know what I mean? But
While
TikTok, I
getting
don't.
lit on fire.
Yeah, but TikTok, I don't think like you can. I mean, maybe you can, but I don't know.
You can what?
Like make a build video like we did with like Facebook and stuff.
Yeah, they have. Oh, I don't know about. You can go live on there, and you can do longer
you
videos
can
now.
Go live on there.
Actually, the TikTok likes longer videos now. So
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember before it was like a short videos or
yeah,
something.
but if it's up to a minute, you can get paid. That's
Oh,
what it's up
really?
to. Yeah.
Okay.
After a certain amount of followers, like I think it's like I don't know, like 10,000 followers.
I don't think I have like.
It's easy to get followers on TikTok. Man, you guys have cars for days here.
I know if we made a YouTube video YouTube channel, we probably have hella followers, but it's so hard to do, and like we're working. I would have to literally hire someone just for the YouTube stuff.
I would.
Yeah,
I definitely would.
but we would probably like get in a lot of trouble for half the things that we. Yeah, like what? Seriously, 'Cause we do some crazy.
Some of these
stuff.
stories that you guys are telling me are kind of
Bro, we do some crazy shit.
I mean, you can cut the editor can cut that shit out.
Yeah. But that's the fun stuff,
Right.
You know what I mean, people would probably.
The fighting.
You see us arguing.
Joe.
People are like, bro, you guys got to put the, like, you two going back and forth is.
Where we go at it. It's
We
pretty,
have people come here and sit just to watch me and him argue all day.
yeah. We go
It's
at
the
it.
stupidest argument. It is not.
It's
It's
real
not like we're
argument.
fist fighting. We're like arguing about the dumbest shit, like picking on each other.
We'll
type
literally
shit.
be arguing about movies and shit.
Yeah, just,
Like getting full screaming matches over movies.
it's stupid. But like people that watch us actually do it, they're like, "Oh, you should make a YouTube," and I'm just like,
Well, like I said, man, I really appreciate you guys.
Yep.
Thanks again. Next time I come back to Maryland, I will be stopping by. We'll not be taking a ride in one of the GTRs, but we'll be taking a look at what else is here. So thank you
You're
so
gonna
much.
take a ride. We're gonna go for a ride.
Thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure.
Yes.
Until next time. And for those who are listening and watching, make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys listening on all streaming platforms. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.